Everyone, welcome to our August 18th, 2022 special magistrate hearing for the building division. Sorry, I'm still drinking my coffee. Everyone who wishes to speak at today's proceedings, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to tell the truth at today's proceedings? Thank you. You all may be seated. At this time, please silence all of your devices. Our first case is on page 5, Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 1300 Northwest 15th Court. Owner, Barbarita Interior Designs, Inc. Case number BE 22040011. Notice posted at the property on 7/12/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Good morning.
Good
Jose
morning.
Sargusti, building inspector for the city, presenting the case number as read. This case was opened April 4th, 2022. I visited the property on April 4th and observed that the roofing works and windows and doors installation without obtaining the required permit. The property was cited for work without permit under Florida Building Code 2020-105.1. The case was opened in April 4th, 2022. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner April 4, 2022. Final notice was mailed on May 5th, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted on the property in July 12, 2022. No permit issue at this point. I will let the respondent to speak.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Neida Gomez.
Okay, have you started the permit process?
Yes, we started in June 16.
All right. What is the city's
The
recommendation?
city is requesting 28 days extension to comply of $50 per day thereafter.
Okay, say that again. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble.
28 days to comply,
For-
extension.
28. Okay. Are you willing to comply within the 28 days the city's requesting?
Yes, I accept, but depend of the city if they answer on time.
Okay.
Anyways, if before the 28 is not ready, 3-4 days, I let you know if it's possible some extension.
Okay, we'll give you the 28 days, and if you run into a problem, make sure you contact
Yes.
the inspector and request an extension.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next case is on page 8. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 350 Florida Ave. Case number BE 22030042. Owner, Victoria Lopez, Taryn Lopez. Notice posted at the property on 6/10/22, posted at City Hall on 8/4/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Martino representing the city.
Okay.
Case and address as read. I was sent to this property on March 8th of 2022 by my supervisor, Jorge Leva, to deem the pool unsafe and not to be used until the electrical system met the electrical code. This was an email my supervisor received from electrical chief Scott Dry after performing an inspection to the mentioned pool. These are the corrections that needs to be done in order for the pool to be safe, detected by the electrical inspector. Number one, the GFCI receptacle is still not working properly. It is not tripping and wired correctly. Pool pump is not bonded correctly. It needs to be bonded to put steel, not a ground rod. The third was that could not verify the GFCI protection of pool pump. Inspector said the breaker was located inside and could not get access. Number four is a time for pool pump is not an outdoor timer and is very rusted. At the time of my inspection, there was nobody in the property, so I was not able to take any pictures. Since April to today, I have spoken to the owner, Victoria Lopez, a couple of times. I advised her to call or send an email to Electrical Chief Scott Dry, asking him what she should do in order to resolve the unsafe situation that she has on her pool. This case was opened on an inspection report was mailed to the property owner on March 9th of 2022. The final notice was mailed to the property owner on April 14th of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on June 2nd of 2022. A ground pool deck permit was applied on August 2nd of 2022. The permit is in process. We are asking your honor to find that the violations exist to grant the property owner 42 days to come into compliance or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter. Here with me is a representation of the electrical department. He's
Okay.
an electrical inspector. If you have any other question, he can address it.
Okay.
Your Honor, for the record, Ronald Montoya Hassan with the City Attorney's Office. Since there are no pictures evidencing the violation, I think it would be appropriate for the city to have the electrical inspector testify, since he did visit the property and also observed the non-compliant conditions.
Rhonda, the electrical inspector brought some pictures of his own of that inspection that it was taking place by the electrical inspector.
Perfect. Pictures are good, too.
I do not. These were, hi, good morning.
If you, Inspector, if you could show the photos to the property owners first, and then we'll take them so the magistrate can see them.
These photographs were taken by another electrical inspector who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but I did make a job site visit yesterday and spoke with the homeowner.
Inspector, can you state your name and your position?
My name is Steven Smaglia. I'm an electrical plans examiner and electrical inspector with the city of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. Tell me what the conditions are of this pool.
The conditions were as stated by a code officer. There are several technical issues, GFCI protection for the pool pump motor. There was a indoor timer enclosure installed outdoors. That has been since replaced. I noticed that yesterday. GFCI outlet, which is required by the National Electrical Code, was not functioning. And of course, the main issue is the pool bonding. And a ground rod was driven, which does not solve the issue. And from what I understand from the homeowner, they intend on having all of those issues remedied. And there is a permit in the city currently being processed.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Do you want to see these? Okay. All right. Good morning. Please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Tyrone Lopez.
Okay. Mr. Lopez, are you willing to bring this property into compliance within the next 42 days or face a fine of $50 a day?
We are. We just wanted to inform you of some other things relating to the pool. So this pool was built in 2002. This open permit issue was around since 2002 when the pool was originally built. Since then, this property has been sold numerous times, and nobody's ever caught the issue until my wife and I purchased it. We're both attorneys, so we try to do all of our due diligence to make sure that we bring this up to, whoever has attention needed it. In 2002, that rod was acceptable. I don't know why it wasn't closed. 20 years later, now we're stuck with a pool, and what they want us to do is kind of rip out the concrete around to attach an electrical system grounding that wouldn't be necessary in 2002. So the building code in place would have been the 2002 one. So I believe that issue we should be grandfathered in because that was acceptable then. The GFI's issue, when the inspector came out and told us about it, we've had three electricians come out to the house. One of the electricians told us that the previous owners did some illegal work and it was a fire hazard, so I had no choice but to cut it and have no electricity to the outlets outside rather than risking that catching on fire and possibly hurting anybody. So regarding the electrical stuff, we are going to comply with it. We have an electrician who is going to help us with all of that. Our concern is just the pool issue, because in order to get this pool up to speed, we're talking about chipping into the concrete of the pool, and we've spoken to other pool experts. That can cause an issue because if we start chipping away at it. If we do it with a sledgehammer, which is the way you're supposed to do it, it can cause the whole pool to vibrate and potentially leak out, which is going to cause a bigger problem. So what we are asking is that you would grandfather us in for that, for just the rod issue. The other electrical issues, I have no problems taking care of that. I know the GFI on the inside of the pool, it has its own on and off switch, so that's kind of, that solution. I get it. When we're trying to comply as best as we can, we've had 3 electricians come out. The first one kind of explained everything to us. The second one said, oh, I can't get to you till the end of July. And then he just stopped returning our phone calls. Then I reached out to a third electrician, and he works everywhere. The latest he came out is 9 p.m. to the house to meet with us with a flashlight and take everything done. We applied for the permit, so we are trying to be in compliance. We're just asking for a little wiggle room just with this pool issue. This pool has been around for 20 years. There's been no issues with this pool since. I understand that in 2002, when it was built, this was acceptable. Obviously, the code now calls for something else, but this pool was built then. I would ask you to consider what was needed at the time, and I would ask you to grandfather the pool in so that we don't have to spend thousands of dollars ripping out this pool issue, which could damage the structure of it altogether.
Okay, I understand.
Your
City, wanna
Honor.
respond?
Jorge Oliva, Chief Building and Construction Enforcement Division for Lauderdale. The Florida Building Code doesn't grandparent anything. The owner, as per the Florida state law and the Florida Building Code, is fully responsible for any violation in the property done before or after they became the owners of the property. So that is out of the square right now, and the electrical inspector would like to add something about the rod.
Hi, just to be clear, and I want the homeowner to understand, because it gets a little technical with equipotential bonding of the shell and the steel of the structure. If that is not there, there is a voltage potential there that becomes a life safety issue. So therefore, we are requesting that it's done properly. Now, I don't recall, to my knowledge, that at any point in time, a driven ground rod at a pool pump circulation motor was ever sufficient at any point in time, even 20 years ago. And quite frankly, driving a ground rod next to the pool pump motor actually poses an additional risk, okay, because of the gradient. If the electricity was to ever go to that and there was a ground fault, it could cause a gradient voltage, stray voltage in that area. That's what we do not want. So that's a non-issue. So what I'm requesting or suggesting is that it be done properly. And we see this quite often in the electrical department with retrofitting and pool remodels where they drain the pool. They do chip out 4 points, which is required in the National Electrical Code. They find the pool steel, they bond it, it's wrapped around the deck, and it's all connected to the equipotential bonding system. And that's what we're looking for.
Okay. All right. I think we need to err on the side of caution here, and we'll give you 42 days or $50 a day thereafter. If you run into any problems with the permits or anything else, make sure you contact the inspector.
And if I could just get a point of clarity, if you don't mind. So one of the electricians that we hired said that we can connect the pool. It's literally a ground wire that gets connected to the pool.
Sir, I'm not an electrician.
Well,
What
I
I
know,
would
if I was-
suggest is maybe after this hearing's done, I think the city people might take some time and talk to you about that.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome.
Our next case is on page 5. Chief George Leva, property address 1611. I'm sorry, that's the wrong page. 1 second. It's okay, we'll move to page 6. Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 2165 Northwest 19th Street.
What page are we on?
18.
I'm sorry, 1 second, these page numbers are. 1 second.
18.
Okay. I'm sorry, we're on page 31. Sorry, the page numbers are written down wrong. Chief Georgia Leva, property address 1611 South Andrews Avenue, owner North Broward Hospital District, case number BE 200500439. This case was first heard on 9/16/21 to comply by 10/28/21. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $11,300, which continues to accrue.
Tasha, we're skipping the gentleman that was at the podium?
No, we called a different case. One moment.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Chief George Oliva, in behalf of the city, we are going to be requesting an extension of 180 days on this 40-year inspection report was submitted, but the building needs a lot of repairs, so the owners decide to do a total demo of the building. So they apply already for the demolition permit, so we just waiting for the permit to be issued and go ahead and do the total demo of the building. So at this moment, we are requesting 180 days.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Stephanie Toothaker on behalf of the North Broward Hospital District. I just want to thank the city. We've been working closely with them, and it is our intention to demolish the building. We're in review right now of the demo.
Okay, so you're in agreement with the 180 days?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 18, Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 2165 Northwest 19th Street, owner Travelers Express Services, Inc., case number BE 211-00280. This case was first heard on 5/19/22 to comply by 6/16/22. Fine suspended as noted. 2 sections not complied at $50 per violation. This case was ordered to reappear.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Inspector Maddock presenting the case and updating the case. Majority of the violations have been cleared on this property. Roofing permit has been issued, and some inspections are pending. And as far as violation for that property was zoned differently than residential area, I spoke with the zoning chief, Mohammed Malik, and he granted us extension and to come in compliance with getting some affidavits that this property was originally zoned as residential and that the tenant can, or the owner can move in there.
Okay.
So I would let him, say a couple of
Okay.
words about it.
What is the city recommending in terms of an extension?
I would like to give him 28-day extension to come in full compliance.
Okay. Sir, please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Sean Singh.
Okay, looks like you've been working to get this property into compliance. Can you complete the job in 28 days?
Yes, and based upon once the city, give me the okay, should be okay.
Okay, we'll give you a 28-day extension and suspend the fines during that time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 28. It's a hearing to impose fines. Inspector Jorge Martinez, property address 1101 Northeast 18th Court, owner Barry Sarko, case number CE 200711110. This case was first heard on 8/19/21 to comply by 9/16/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $250. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $67,750, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor. Todd Stone on behalf of the property's owner, Barry Sarkle. This is
Okay.
our architect, Gus Carbonell.
Just,
I'm sorry.
that's okay, that's okay. It's just, I need to hear from the inspector first so I get more background.
Without, and there is an agreement between the parties, Your Honor, as I understand it.
Okay.
If-
Let
no,
me see
I-
where the
please
inspector is.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Let me start again, Your Honor. Todd Stone on behalf of the owner, Barry Sarkle. This is Gus Carbonell, our architect. This is George Colony, our realtor.
And the inspector goes first, counsel, as the magistrate has already said.
I'm sorry.
1101, right?
Yes.
Good morning. Inspector Martinez, updating case on behalf of the city, case number and address as read. The case is not in compliance. The city is requesting 63-day extension. I'm gonna let the lawyer speak.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Todd Stone on behalf of the owner, Barry Sarkle. We're here with our architect, Gus Carbonell, and our realtor, George Colony. And, Your Honor, my client, Barry Sarkle, purchased this property not knowing there were ongoing violations, had no idea there were. As soon as they learned, they contacted the city. They worked with an architect to get after-built plans submitted to the city. We've done that. It turns out we need a variance, after all, for the existing structure, which is an outdoor kitchen and a barbecue. It's
Okay,
physically beautiful
Is your client in
stuff.
agreement with the 63-day?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Wait, he said 63. I thought it was 91. 63? 63.
Okay.
Okay, the city is gonna request 91 days.
91 days.
And we're in agreement with that, Your Honor.
Okay, you're in agreement. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 22, Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 3015 North Ocean Boulevard, 2R, case number BE 21070001. Owner, Berkeley South Condo Association, Inc. This case was first heard on 3/17/22 to comply by 6/16/22. One section not complied at $300. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $18,600, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, updating case as read. Case is still not in compliance. I'm gonna let the respondent speak.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Good morning. My name is Brian Kurth.
Okay, to tell me why this is taking so long.
We have been working on resolving some of the issues. We have done a complete cleaning of the drainage system. At this point, what we are dealing with is groundwater swell. So we talked to the code inspector beforehand and basically requested that we get 180 days extension, as we're going to add some standpipes to try and deal with groundwater swell during intense rains and tides. We're kind of fighting against the environment right now.
Okay, city's position on, by my calendar, 182-day extension.
City wouldn't oppose.
Okay, 182 days.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Our next case is on page 27. Inspector Nashmatic, property address 3201 Port Royale Drive. Owner, Port Royale Propco LLC, case number BE 21090158. This case was first heard on 1/20/22 to comply by 4/21/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose fines of $5,900, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector
morning.
Matic, presenting the case and address as heard. As of today, the permit has not been obtained for this project, so the case is not in compliance.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Zachary Derleth.
Okay, and why is this taking so long?
We've got updated early June that we needed our vendor to comply with updating their insurance with the city to be registered. And we're now having that transitioned over to this gentleman. He's going to be our GC so that we can have the permit released to him.
Okay. And how much time are you requesting?
Minimal. We can have that done very soon, less than a month.
Okay, is the city opposed to extension in this case?
City does not oppose.
Okay. I'll give you a 21-day extension.
Thank you.
And if you run into a problem, make sure you contact the inspector. We'll
Yes, ma'am.
suspend the fines during that time.
Thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next case is on page 14, Chief George Leva, property address 3605 Northeast 32nd Avenue. Owner, the Intracoastal Riviera, Inc., case number BE 2202-0073. Notice posted at the property on 6/30/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22. This is a new business case.
Jorge Oliva, in behalf of the city, case and address as read. The required safety inspection report has not been approved by the city or submitted to us, and the city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Please state your name for the record.
Alexandra de Massachusetts.
Okay, are you in agreement to bring the property into compliance by submitting the report within 42 days?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Our next case is on page 23. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 5743 Northeast 17th Terrace, case number BE 211-10001. Owner Angela Kubler. This case was first heard on 2/17/22 to comply by 4/21/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $5,900, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Martinez, representing the city. Case and address as read. The case is not complied. I will let respondent to speak.
Okay, please state your, good morning, please state your name for the record.
Angela Keebler.
Okay, why are we not in compliance yet? This has been going on since February.
This is for a fence that fell. We replaced an existing fence, fell during my pregnancy. I was on bed rest and was hospitalized for a couple months. And then my son was in the NICU for a month after. Since I have the plans, I had trouble finding an engineer that would take such a small project after the fact, coming to inspect. I found someone, and I literally picked up the plans on Thursday. And I spoke to Mr. Martinez, letting him know that I received it.
Okay, how much time do you think you need?
I mean, I can apply for the permit this coming week, just in between our doctor's appointments.
Okay. Is the city opposed to any more extensions, or?
Yeah, city wasn't opposed to an extension. I mean, since, she's looking forward to do the permit application.
Okay.
I mean, I would request a 42 days extension.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, 42-day extension, and good luck to you, ma'am.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 10. This is a new business case. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 2212 Northeast 17th Place, case number BE 211-00266. Owner, Trang Pham. Notice posted at the property on 6/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Good morning, Inspector Martinez, representing the city. Case and address as read. I visited this property on October 20 of 2021, and I observed that the entire house was gutted, and there was no permit applied for the work. The property was cited for work without permit on the Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. In December of 2020, I was contacted by the owner, Mr. Pan, who lives in Seattle. He informed me that he hired a contractor, paid him some money, and the contractor scammed him. He said that he had the proof of the contract. I provided the owner with Detective Hayes, who worked for the Florida Police Department, and the contact information for the investigator of the DVPR. to present the documentation of what happened to him. On January 18 of 2022, I was contacted by Richard, who is a new contractor hired by the owner. Richard informed me that he has an architect that will start working on the drawings, and he needs 2 or 3 months to prepare the documentation to apply for the required permit. This case was opened on October 19 of 2021, and a second inspection report due to the scam that happened to the owner. I give him the opportunity and reopen the case or send another inspection report so he can gain some time on the process of applying for the permit. And the second report was sent on January 20 of 2022. The final notice was mailed out to the property owner on March 14 of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on May 25th of 2022. Permit application for the addition and remodeling of the existing residence was applied on August 10 of 2022. We are asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 91 days to come into compliance or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Richard Downing.
Okay. Are you in agreement to bring this property into compliance within the next 91 days?
Yes, based on the fact if we can get through the reviews and working with Mr. Martinez to be able to make that happen. So keep him up to date. I've been doing it a few times since I've been involved in this project, being that the owner got scammed, for lack of better words, and the house is gutted completely. He walked into a disaster. He's starting from scratch, yes.
Okay. All right, 91 days or $50 a day thereafter, so if you run into problems, make sure you contact the inspector.
I appreciate it.
And you
Thank
do
you.
have to call for an inspection when you're done.
Thank you.
All right.
Our next case is on page 27, Inspector Jorge Martinez. Property address 213 South Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. Owner TRD of Fort Lauderdale LLC. Case number BE 2109-0149. This case was first heard on 4/14/22 to comply by 6/16/22. One section complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $2,750.
Inspector Martinez updating case on behalf of the city, case number and address as read. This case is in compliance. City is requesting for fines to be reduced to admin cost of $645.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Lauren Pleffner, law clerk with Crush Law, here on behalf of the property owner. We do appreciate the inspector's time and would absolutely appreciate the reduced admin costs.
Okay, so you're in agreement with $645 in administrative costs?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 22. It's a hearing to impose fines. Inspector Leonardo Martinez. Property address 401 Northeast 8th Street. Owner 401 Northeast 8th Street LLC. Case number BE 211-1004. This case was first heard on 2/17/22 to comply by 6/17/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,050, which continues to accrue.
My apologies.
Inspector Martinez representing the city. Case and address as read. The case is not comply, but I would allow the defendant to speak.
Okay, tell me which case this is again?
Would we be able to wait until Courtney Crush is here?
Pardon me?
Just, she has to.
You want me to recall
observe- If possible.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll recall this,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
Sorry, Inspector.
Oh, look at that. Okay, there's Courtney.
Okay.
Okay, we're not going to recall it. She's here.
Great timing.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Lauren Pleffner, law clerk with Crush Law, on behalf of the property owner. So this property went through a change of use permitting process. It's actually still in process. And the property owner is working with the building department. We had a comment back in May from building and mechanical that actually required us to hire an architect, separate and apart, to do a separate plan, and dimension out certain aspects of the building. So that's actually done. I do have the plan ready. The architect is going through a final review with the contractor and is ready to submit as early as Monday. So we would respectfully request a 63-day extension with a stay of fines to give the owner the time to resubmit and obtain that permit.
Okay. Any objection from the city?
I would like to add, there is a problem with the occupants load, that's the permit that she's referring to, but there is another permit that needs to be applied. I just want to remind that is for the opening in between the two units. That permit for that opening hasn't been applied. I just want to reflect that on, get it on record.
Okay, all right. Please make a note of that and
Absolutely,
let
thank
your
you.
client know. Okay, 63 days, is that acceptable to everybody?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
we'll suspend the fines.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 21. Senior Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 1517 Ponce de Leon Drive, case number BE 211-20069, owner Joseph and Amanda Safina, Joseph Safina Trust. This case was first heard on 4/14/22 to comply by 6/16/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,100, which continues to accrue.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, updating case as read. Final inspection was completed for the permit on August 17, 2022, but they still haven't obtained the certificate of occupancy related to that permit. So I'm going to let the respondent speak.
We got the change of...
State your name first.
Oh,
for the
sorry,
record.
Dane Meyer. We got the change of contractor and the revisions needed. The city released the revisions last week. I got my final AC inspection, final building inspection this week. This is literally going in today. I should have it in 14 days or less, as long as Nancy's, does it quickly.
All right, any objection to an extension, say 21 days?
No, I have no objection.
Okay, 21-day extension, will suspend fines during that time.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our next case is also on page 21. Inspector Linda Holloway, property address 215 North New River Drive East. Owner PR2 Styles Rollo Apartments Owner LLC. Case number BE 2202-0060. This case was first heard on 5/19/22 to comply by 6/30/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $2,400, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Linda Holloway, case number and property address is read. As stated, the property remains out of compliance. The city is requesting full imposition of fines, no
Okay.
extensions.
All right. Please state your name for the record.
Mary Lou Romero.
Okay, and why has this property not shown
The
any?
backflows were already done and completed and inspected in June, and we're missing, I actually got in contact with the advance that's doing the backflows, and we're just missing a part that's on backload, the switch valve, and that's gonna complete it by the 31st.
Okay.
We can grant an extension to the 31st.
I'm sorry, I
So
can't hear you,
14
Linda.
days, so the city's requesting a 14-day extension.
Okay, 14 days, and we'll suspend the fine during that period.
Okay, and when it's complete, do we just get in contact with?
Me.
Okay,
Correct.
wonderful.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Our next case is on page 13. Chief Georgia Leva, property address 3028 Seville Street. Owner Alto Brisa LC. Case number BE 2205-0162. Notice posted at the property on 7/13/22. Posted at City Hall 8/4/22. This is a new business case.
George Oliva for the city. Case and address as read. They submit the report to the city, but the report is in need of correction. So we're asking for a 180-day extension to comply or $100 per day thereafter.
Sir, please state your name for the record.
My name is Eric Bona. I'm the owner of Alto Brisa.
Okay, are you in agreement with the 180-day to bring the property into compliance?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 4. Inspector Jorge Martinez, property address.
I'm a witness to the case that just went before you, and I did write the entry list.
Your Honor, he said he's a witness to the case that was just heard.
What page was that on again?
That was on page 13. That was at 3028 Seville Street.
May I approach? Good morning, Your Honors. Unfortunately,
Please state your name for the record, sir.
we're here for issues that should have been taken care of. I'm sure everyone here has to deal with these issues.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Noel Pantoja.
Your full name, sir.
Noel Pantoja.
Okay.
I lived in apartment 5. I'm the whistleblower. There you go. If that
Okay.
makes any sense.
Lived, so you don't live there anymore?
I just moved.
Okay.
Under the retaliatory matters that went before the county court. There are 3 families
Your Honor, Your Honor, in magistrate proceedings, it was actually updated by the city attorney yesterday. There is no absolute right for an interested party to speak at a special magistrate hearing. It's completely up to Your Honor. Again, the case that was heard was a 40-year recertification case. The city and the property owner were in agreement for an additional 180 days to come into compliance. So again, it's completely up to Your Honor. There is no absolute right under the law for any interested party other than the property owner to speak in these proceedings.
Well, before, Your Honor, you issue your ruling, a letter has been written to the governor of the state of Florida. There are also government officials involved, specifically Broward County.
Okay, so the city is trying to get this property into compliance by the 40-year inspection followed by 180 days. This is standard to get the property into compliance. And what is the relevance of your testimony here today?
Well, I would like to enter into the record proof as it relates to the disrepairs. I don't know how deep these inspectors went. However, I have a copy of the inspector's report, 19 pages. Most of the verbiage or the boiler language, if it's in the record, doesn't comply with the actual licensed individuals that came to inspect this building. The report has so many disregards, so many triggers that bend towards his favor. Now, in the 1970s, Miami started this process. And in 2005, here we are.
Yes, sir, and we're trying to carry out this process, and
Your Honor,
inspectors are doing their job, and the property owner is working with them to complete timely his responsibility.
he's got the Federal Commission for Housing in Washington. He's being sued. There's a lot going on here. This is not the forum for it, Your Honor.
Your
this-
Honor,
this is-
the city object to his statements. This is not related to the case that is in front of you
Exactly.
today.
But what I'm just trying to say,
I don't believe that we should pay attention to this right now.
Sir,
what
if-
is
if you-
related to this
yeah,
case.
if you have problems with this company or this person or whatever, you need to take it to the city in a separate proceeding. I've ruled in this case granting 180 days, which is the standard amount that we give them in order to comply so that everything can get done that was found in the 40-year inspection report, okay? I don't find your testimony thus far relevant, and I'm going to ask you to, that, you know, if you have relevant testimony, if not, you need to go take this to another forum. This is, it's not within my,
it's not within your jurisdiction of
Right.
control, and I do understand, Your Honor.
yeah,
However,
I'm here to rule on the property issue, which is the 40-year inspection.
but isn't the purpose of this committee or this panel, does it not bend on safety and overall
Yes, and I've ruled that the process is proceeding the way it should, so,
Okay, so then I would like to enter into the record evidence that conveys exactly why this landlord is here. I mean, we're not going into the retaliatory issues. The civil court is handling that. The federal government is involved. The state of Florida. What I want to do is enter into the record the evidence that will corroborate the issues that are actually pending before this court.
okay, and what evidence is that?
Well, there is a licensed contractor, electrical contractor, that inspected the building, which conflicts with the actual report that was provided to this honorable court. I just want to enter all of the
Do you have written
specificities.
evidence?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So this submittal form that was issued by this engineer is highly prejudicial. And if this panel does not accept,
It's not a panel, I'm the
I'm sorry.
magistrate.
Your Honor, if the court doesn't accept the truth, which is right before this court, then what say you about this honorable
Sir,
court?
I don't think you realize first of all, I'm not even sure you have standing to be giving this testimony. You don't live there.
I am the
You don't-
whistleblower.
Yeah.
I was.
Well,
Okay,
again, Your
but
Honor,
now, you are on, the city is doing what they're supposed to be doing at this point, which is to inspect the premises and to give them time to rectify the premises, and then they will come in and inspect again and make sure that the premises is up to code.
Okay, so.
And that's where we are in the process.
We leave the 20-page mold inspection that was
Okay,
legally
all right,
established.
feel
All
free-
these things we
yes,
have to leave
yes,
alone.
you could feel free to submit that if you want to, but that's not going to change my ruling.
Understood.
Okay,
Your Honor,
my-
I don't
my
think that,
ruling-
and respectfully, Your Honor, I don't think that needs to be a part of the record. Mold has nothing to do with 40-year recertification.
No, this is structural and electrical.
Well, you
Here
just
we
said
have an
mold, sir.
electrical
You just said mold.
licensed.
Okay, you could submit the electrical if you'd like, sir, and they could give it whatever weight they want. But for
So-
right now, I have already ruled on this case, and they need time to make the corrections, and then it will be properly inspected, and we'll see if it passes.
So would it be possible to ask this honorable court for a sua sponte
No.
so that I can compel this landlord to allow
No.
a second engineer?
No.
An engineer
No,
who was
you don't have any
involved in.
standing to do there. You don't even live there, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, if he has an issue with the 40-year program, he can go to border and request a hearing in Board so he can appeal the decision. But this report was prepared by a licensed engineer with the state of Florida that even overrules a general contractor or electrical contractor or anybody else, including me. I'm not an engineer. So
Okay.
at this moment, I believe that if he has an issue, he can go to Board and appeal to Board the case. But here in the city of Lauderdale, we stand by the 180-day extension as
Okay.
Well, Your Honor, I will respectfully ask, in my finality of my approach to this honorable court, that I be given a copy of the minutes, as it is my right.
Well, you can request them, certainly.
You make a request through the city clerk's office for public records.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 4. Inspector Jorge Martinez, property address 2810 Riverland Road, owner 2810 Riverland LLC, case number BE 2203-0106. Notice posted at the property on 7/14/22, posted at City Hall on 8/4/22. This is a new business case.
Inspector Martinez, on behalf of the city, presenting case as read. This building has been illegally altered and construction work illegally performed without obtaining the required permits in the following manner, but not limited to: a concrete slab on the back of the property and modification of exterior walls. I'm gonna let the owner speak.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Avi Schwalb. I'm the owner,
Okay.
and we are working on it already. I came specially from Denver, Colorado. I live in Denver, Colorado. We have all the drawing already set up. We have a general contractor that he's pulling out right now as we speak, the permit, and it should be done this probably week.
Okay.
We're asking for an extension if we can get for 63 days. I will appreciate it.
Okay.
The city will request 63-day extension.
Okay, thank you.
It's not an extension, it's a new case.
All right.
The city will request 63 days to comply or a fine of $50 a day thereafter.
Okay. 63 days or $50 after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, everybody.
Our next case, excuse me, is on page 12. Chief Georgia Leva, property address 831 North Federal Highway, owner 831-845 North Federal Highway LLC, case number BE 2108-0019. Notice posted at the property on 6/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
George Lee on behalf of the city, case and address as read. The report was submitted to the city, but it needs correction. So we're gonna ask for a 180-day extension for the owner to come into compliance by submitting a new report with no repairs, or $100 per day thereafter.
Sir, please state your name.
Andrew Sturman.
Okay, sir, are you willing to bring the property into compliance within the 180 days?
Should not be a problem.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is a new business case on page 5. Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 1800 North Victoria Park Road, case number BE 2201-0030. Owner Vitaly Pilyavsky and Leva Vayner. Notice posted at the property on 5/26/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Good morning, Jose Sargusti, building inspector for the city, presenting the case number as read. I visit the property on January 6, 2022, and observed the new pool deck, good fence, and driveway without obtaining the required permit. The property was cited for work without permit under Florida Building Code 2020-105.1. The case was opened on January 6, 2022. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on January 11, 2022. Final notice was mailed on March 23, 2022. And notice of hearing was posted on the property at the property on May 26, 2022. no permit issue for those violations. City doesn't oppose to 91 days extension on fine of $50 per day thereafter.
Sir, please state your name.
Good morning, Vitaly Polovsky.
Okay, are you in agreement with the 91-day extension?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 19, Inspector Jorge Martinez. Property address 401 North Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. Case number BE 211-00366, owner Capri Hotel LLC. This case was first heard on 1/20/22 to comply by 3/24/22. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50.
Inspector Martinez updating case on behalf of the city, case number and address as read. I'm gonna let the respondent speak.
Okay, sir, please state your name.
Daniel King, I'm the owner's representative.
Okay, and what's the status of this matter?
We submitted and received our permits for the work. We've hired a general contractor, Western Specialty. We've also hired consulting engineers, Wisjani Elsner, and we've hired a project manager. They're making great progress. They finished the first tower, ceiling, painting from the top floor, 25th floor, down to the 5th floor, where the podium is. They've begun the repairs of the soffits around the podium, about halfway around the first tower. This is a tremendously large project, you know.
How much time do you think you need to?
We're hoping to get it done before the peak season, probably December 15th. But, so we can come in and give you a progress update at whatever interval he recommends.
Okay. What's the recommendation of the city?
Okay, the city is requesting a 147-day extension and for the respondent to reappear on the 10/20/22 special magistrate hearing.
Okay, 147 days, we'll suspend the fines and you'll reappear on January 12th, 2023.
Thank you, Your Honor.
To reappear on October.
October.
The city is requesting for the respondent to reappear to update the case on October.
He wants him to reappear at the October hearing for an update.
Oh, okay.
And then give him the 147 days.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, so you'll reappear in 63 days,
What's the date of that? Is it
and that's October 20th,
20th? Okay.
just to give us a progress report.
And then the extension is 147.
Right, but you will have the 147-day extension, okay? All right, thank you.
Our next case, you have another one, right? 31, okay. Our next case is also on page 19, Inspector Jorge Martinez. Property address 3101 Bayshore Drive. Owner, Fort Lauderdale Residences Hotel Condo Association. Case number BE 211-00368. This case was first heard on 1/20/22 to comply by 3/24/22. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50.
Inspector Martinez, updating case on behalf of the city, case number and address as read. As the same as the last case, the city is requesting a 147-day extension and for the respondent to reappear on the 10/20/22 special magistrate hearing.
Okay, state your name for the record again.
Daniel King.
Okay, are you in agreement with the 147-day extension and reappear on October 20th?
Yes, if we can get enough staff, we'll get a second crew on the condo tower and start that next month.
Good. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 22, Inspector Alejandro Del Rio. Property address 1812 Southeast First Ave. Owner, Robert Carey and Camille Fenn. Case number BE 2201-0071. This case was first heard on 5/19/22 to comply by 6/16/22. Two sections not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,300, which continues to accrue.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, updating case as read. Property still doesn't have a CO. The property owner has been working on it. She passed final inspections yesterday. I'm going to let her explain the situation.
Please state your name for the
Good
record.
morning, Camille Fenn, owner of the property. So that's correct, I did pass all my final inspections
How much time do you think you need to bring them?
yesterday. According to Ms. Bora, she's in charge of the CO. I met with her yesterday afternoon. She has all the information she requires. She told me this morning that she believes that she will have my CO by this afternoon,
Okay,
as long as the last gentleman that she needs to present it to is, but she has okayed all the paperwork that's been turned in. And as I said, all the inspections have been passed as well.
okay. Any objection to a 14-day extension?
Since she already have some fines that accrue, can we bring it back the next hearing to address those?
Okay, yes. In other words, I'm giving you an extension, but you're going to have to come back and address the fines at another time.
Okay. Is it something that I can say something about? I did ask yesterday at the department if I can have a rundown of all that had been attached to my permit, and it is something that I will be looking further into. It indicates that today I have paid $14,000 in permit fees.
Okay, if you want to waive, I can hear your Massey hearing now, or you're going to have to come back and give me the evidence when you come back.
Gather the evidence and then come back to show where I stand as far as permit fees and whatnot.
This is as far as the fines that have accrued so far.
Okay. And what about the last time I was here, I was told that you have no jurisdictions over permit fees.
No, that's true. I don't set the permit fees.
So what would be my recourse with that? Your system shows that to date I've paid $14,000 in permit fees when I've actually paid $32,000 in permit fees.
Yeah, Inspector, do you have any advice for that? It's just not my area. I deal with the fines that have accrued on the property, but I would suggest that you go and show them how much you've spent and try to get it corrected.
My suggestion is just write a claim to the building department regarding that situation.
Okay. So I'm not quite sure I understand. When I do get my CO, I need to come back again?
Yes, because you already accrue some fines that we are going to have to resolve. So we can only talk about fines once you are in compliance. That's why I'm requesting the case to automatically be brought back the next hearing as a Massey so we can discuss the fines. I assume at that point you are going to be in compliance and we can discuss what's going to happen with the fines that you already accrue.
Mm-hmm. In that case, I don't know if it'd be reasonable for me to ask more than 14 days to gather.
Okay, well, the next hearing's in 28 days, okay? So you're going to come back in 28 days. You need to have the property in compliance by then, and then we'll hear the fine issue, okay?
Or you mean I need to have my CO in hand?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
28 days.
28 days,
28 days and coming back.
yes.
Our next case is on page 30, Chief Georgia Leva, property address 440 Northwest 6th Street. Owner, Broward County Longshoremen's Association, Inc. Case number BE. No, George? Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, wow, he got the next three cases. Okay, our next case is on page 21. Yes. Our next case on page 21, Chief Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address, Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 915 Northeast 15th Street. Owner Michelle V. and Jose P. Abreu. Case number BE 211-20060. This case was first heard on 3/17/22 to comply by 5/19/22. One section complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $1,250, which continues to accrue.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city. This case is already in compliance. The property owner ran into some difficulties getting there, but I'm gonna let him explain the situation.
Okay, sir, please state your name for the record.
Okay, my name is Jose Abreu. So I just comply. So it just take about almost like an extra month than the time that you give me, the last time that I've been here. Because, the surveys and the city, how's everything going very slow now. So.
Okay.
What are you asking for?
Well, I asking, to not to give me any penalty. So since I just, comply with everything that, the CO, that is what they request.
Okay, what are city costs?
Not sure, Your Honor, but I wouldn't have any.
Okay.
I wouldn't oppose to waiving the fines.
Okay, all right, sir. We're gonna waive the fines.
Okay, because, I just, they give me up to May 17. That, is like the 60 days that they give me, and I just have the
Sir,
school on June 13th.
You won. I've just waived the fines. It's time for you, it's time for you to say thank you, Judge.
No fines, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right.
Our next case is a new business case on page 2. Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 1300 West Lake Drive. Case number BE 2204-0184. Owner Jose M. and Marisabel Tamayo. Notice posted at the property on 7/15/22. Posted at City Hall on 8/4/22. This is a new business case.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. Give me just a second. Be right back. Sorry about that. Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. This case was opened on April 25, 2022. Property was cited for the following violation: Florida Building Code 2020, Section 111.1.1. Property is being occupied without obtaining the required certificate of occupancy related to permit number PM-19090104. The inspection report was mailed to the property owner on April 27, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted at the property on July 15, 2022. City is requesting 28 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
Sir, please state your name.
Good morning, Justice Spence.
Okay,
General Contractor.
are you in agreement to bring the property into compliance within 28 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
What was the fine? Okay. Your Honor, at this time, we're going to take a brief recess.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for waiting. On page 30, Chief Georgia Leva, property address 440 Northwest 6th Street. Owner, Broward County Longshoremen's Association, Inc., case number BE 200-40207. This case was first heard on 12/8/20 to comply by 11921. One section complied at $100. City is requesting to impose fines of administrative costs of $1,275. Is there anyone here for 440 Northwest 6th Street? Okay, I guess I'll call it back. Do I have a respondent here for 1140 Northwest 55th Street? Okay. Okay, we're gonna call 1140 Northwest 55th Street. It's on the same page, 30. Property address 1140 Northwest 55th Street. Owner 1163 Holdings LLC. Case number BE 200-40391. This case was first heard on 2/18/21 to comply by 4/1/21. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $50,300, which continues to accrue.
George Olive, in behalf of the city, case and address as read. This case, Your Honor, was opened on April 2020, and the report has not been submitted since we opened this case and we sent the notifications to the owners. At this moment, the city is requesting for the fines to be imposed until we obtain compliance from the owners.
Sir, please state your name.
Mark Bruno, property owner. We have two buildings, one across the street from one another. Suffront Engineering did the report on the wrong building, and so we actually have two 40-year inspections on one building. We didn't realize that until after the fact. I hired Suffront again to come and do the 1140 building, which they did the report last week. I'm just waiting for it to come back from engineering. So I'm just asking for an extension to get the engineering report back from them, so then we can go ahead and get the property in compliance, and then I can come back and work on the fines.
The owner, I'm sorry to say, but the owner cannot request an extension on a 40 years inspection case. Only the engineer of records, the one that is allowed to request an inspection. We are lettered, sealed, and stamped by him. We are open permit if it's restoration going on. But BORA doesn't recognize an owner requesting for an extension of time on the 40 years.
Additionally, Your Honor, as the agenda reflects, it's been out of compliance for 503 days.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to impose the fines, and they will continue to accrue until you have the report to them and they can comply the case. And then you can take whatever necessary steps to address the fines at that time.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have the respondent back for 440 Northwest 6th Street? Okay. 440 Northwest 6th Street. Is there a respondent here for that one? Okay, moving on to page 13, Chief Georgia Leva. Property address 3250 Northeast 28th Street. Owner, Let's Circle by the Beach Condo Association, case number BE 22050170. Notice posted at the property on 7/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22. Do I have a respondent here for that? 3250 Northeast 28th Street? Okay, moving on from that one. Property address 100 Southeast 3rd Avenue. Page 11, Chief Georgia Leva. Owner, OFP Fort Lauderdale LLC, in care of Alliance HSP Investments LLC, case number BE 22020112. Notice posted at the property on 6/10/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
George Olive, in behalf of the city, case and address as read. This is a 40-year case, and the report was submitted to the city, but it fell due to corrections required. At this moment, we're requesting 180 days for the owner to come into compliance or $100 per day thereafter.
Please state your name for the record.
Jamira Roosley.
Okay, are you willing to bring the property into compliance within 180 days?
Yes, we're in the process of completing the repairs. We have someone coming out on Tuesday in order to complete those repairs. So we started the process, and now we're completing them so we can get it re-inspected and the report submitted.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 14, Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 601 Southwest 14th Avenue, owner Michael L. Spira, case number BE 2203-0057, notice posted at the property on 8/3/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock presenting the case and address as read. This case was opened on March 15, 2022. During our visit to the property, we observed multiple work done without obtaining a permit, starting with water heater replacement, toilet replacement, kitchen sink and faucet replacement, natural gas ran to the water heater and appliances, fence on the front of the house, and replacement of the air conditioning unit. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on March 28, 2022. Final notice was sent to the property on May 31st, 2022, and notice of hearing was posted at the property on July 11, 2022. As of today, permit application has been applied for replacement of the fence, but no other permit application have been submitted. I just want to state for the record that I'm staying in touch with Mr. Spiro, and he's informing me about progress of what is going on. But at this time, we ask Your Honor to find that violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or fine of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Sir, please state your name.
Your Honor, Michael Lee Spira, you got it right.
Okay, all right, so you're willing to bring the property into compliance within 63 days?
Yes, I am. I
Okay.
apologize for having to show up here, but
No problem, no problem. That's what we're here for.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next two cases are on page 1, Inspector Justin Dreschel, property address 518 Northwest 17th Ave, case number BE 2204-0031, owner 3i Power LLC, notice posted at the property on 7/20/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Justin Dreschel on behalf of the city presenting case and address as read. This property was first inspected by Inspector Hector Suarez on April 7th, 2022, and the following violation was observed as depicted in the photos. 9-1D, any violation of Florida Building Code shall be a violation of this section and punishable as provided for in this section. There is construction work at this property that is started or completed without obtaining the required permits, consisting of, but not limited to, metal fence and doors. Courtesy notice was posted at the property by Inspector Hector Suarez on April 7th, 2022. Inspection report and final notice were mailed to the property owner listed on BCPA on June 10th, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted at the property July 20th, 2022. Prior to today, no contact had been made with the property owner. And as of the pre-hearing inspection on August 11th, 2022, there has not been a permit applied for the fence or the doors. The city is requesting 63 days to bring the property into compliance, or $50 per day thereafter for each violation.
Okay, thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Glenn Campbell.
Are you willing to bring the property into compliance by applying for these permits within 63 days?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Page 1 also, property address 520 Northwest 17th Ave, case number BE 2204-0030, owner 3i Power LLC, notice posted at the property on 7/20/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Justin Dreschel on behalf of the city, presenting case and address as read. The This property was inspected by Inspector Hector Suarez on April 7th, 2022, and the following violation was observed as depicted in the photos. 9-1D, any violation of the Florida Building Code shall be a violation of this section and punishable as provided for in this section. There is construction work at this property that is started or completed without obtaining the required permits, consisting of, but not limited to, metal fence and door. Courtesy notice was posted at the property by Inspector Hector Suarez on April 7th, 2022. Inspection report and final notice was mailed to the property owner listed on BCPA June 10th, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted at the property July 20th of 2022. As of pre-hearing inspection on August 11th, 2022, there has not yet been a permit applied for the fence or the door. The city is requesting 63 days to bring the property into compliance, or $50 per day thereafter for each violation.
Okay, state your name again for the record.
Glenn Campbell.
Okay, and you willing to bring the property into compliance within 63 days?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Justin. Our next case is on page 5, Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 1448 Northwest 6th Street, owner Marglip Investments LLC, case number BE 2207-0166. Notice posted at the property on 8/3/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Good morning, Jose Sargusti, building inspector for the city, presenting the case number as read. This case was opened in July 21st, 2022. I inspect the property on July 21st and observe the property is unfit for human habitation. The property was cited for building unfit for human habitation under Florida Building Code 2020, Broward County Edition, Section 9-250. This case was opened on July 1st, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted on the property on August 3rd, 2022. No permit issue for this violation. City doesn't oppose 63 days extension to comply and a fine of $100 per day thereafter. I will let the respondent to speak.
Okay. Sir, please state your name for the record.
Miguel Pilgrim, property owner.
Okay. Can you bring the property into compliance within 63 days?
We're definitely going to attempt to because we're trying to put the roof on. And with that comes the trusses. And that's 60 to 90 days out for any contractor right now. So it's just ongoing. So I'm here every month, ongoing, just working towards addressing the issue.
Okay. Do you have a contractor now that's scheduled to start?
Well, this is a new issue. With the roof, yes, we have a contractor. But for the trusses that have to be put in before the roof, I'm getting a structural engineer to make that recommendation for us.
Okay.
Sorry, but I think in 63 days it will be enough to repair the building.
All right. 63 days and $100 a day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 28. Inspector Jorge Martinez, property address 1301 Northwest 24th Ave, case number CE 20080-564. Owner Jose Ricardo Valdez Castellanos and Maria Y. Espinel Colindres. There are 3 extensions noted in the agenda. This case was first heard on 7/15/21 to comply by 9/16/21. One section complied at $50. City is requesting to reduce fines to administrative costs of $935.
Inspector Martinez updating case on behalf of the city, case number and address as read. This case is in compliance. I'm gonna let the owner speak.
Good morning, my name is Jose Castellanos, and I'm actually the children of my parents or the owners.
Okay. Are you in agreement to the reduction of the fines to administrative cost of $935?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Our next case is on page 9, Inspector Leonardo Martinez. Property address 1470 North Dixie Highway. Owner, Wisteria Court Condo Association, Inc. Case number BE 2204-0132. Notice posted at the property on 7/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22. Is there a respondent here for 1470 North Dixie Highway? No? Okay. Leo will have to recall this case. Sorry. There's no respondent here. Our next case is on page 24. Inspector Jose Sargusti. Property address 620 Northwest 15th Ave. Case number BE 211-20011. Owner, Anair Gonzalez, Edgar Lima. This case was first heard on 4/14/22 to comply by 6/16/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,100, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Inspector Sargusti on behalf of the city presenting the case as read. This case is not compliant. I will let the respondent to speak.
Sir, please state your name.
Good morning. My name is Edgar Lima, and this all began. I purchased the home November 8th, not knowing the owner did changes to the house without the city knowing. And his brokers didn't know. We weren't informed of anything at all. Everything is after the fact. And once we were hit with the violations, we were surprised by it too. So all of this is new to us, but ever since we found out, we have been trying to play ball with the city. Any fees that were charged, I paid, and we have been in constant communication with the city. I've spoken to him quite often. He knows that. And the last thing is we put design plans because I asked him many times what he would suggest, and he gave great advice, and I followed his advice. And then there were things in the city that are still pending to come back to us. So it's just like a matter of a waiting game at this point to hear back from the city. And even I live like down the street from the city of the building and coding, and I've called for inspections to let me know if there's anything else. But yeah, everything like
What are you asking for?
What was that? I'm sorry.
How much time are you asking for?
Most realistically, I would say like 90 days if possible.
What's the city's position?
City doesn't oppose to 91-day extension.
Okay, 91 days. We'll suspend the fines during that period.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 25. Inspector Jose Sargusti. Property address 2961 Southwest 11th Court. Owner, Rachel L. Jacobson. Case number BE 2109-0125. This case was first heard 4/14/22 to comply by 6/16/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,100, which continues to accrue. This man ain't never ready.
Inspector Sargusti on behalf of the city presenting the case as read. The case is not in compliance. I will let the respondent to speak.
Please state your name for the record.
Rachel Jacobson.
Okay, Ms. Jacobson, how come this property is still not in compliance?
I've been having a lot of trouble with getting a contractor that will come in and do a permit after the fact. Once I've been mentioning that, they say, no, we don't want to deal with it for different reasons. I've been told liability. I've been told it's not worth their time. Earlier in the year, around February, I did find a contractor who would do it. He told me that he had to replace the entire window in the front and that he needed to place an order for a custom window. And that was like a 6-week lead time. So I said, okay, fine, order the window, let's get it done. I followed up with him 3 weeks later. He still hadn't done it. So I moved on from him. I ended up going to Antigua, getting COVID. I was stuck there for 2 weeks, and by that time it was the end of May. So then I came back, I started calling more contractors, getting the same thing. Again, I went back to this guy who told me that he would do it. I said, please place the order for the window. I sent him a check via FedEx. I'm up in New Jersey, by the way, so this kind of makes everything a little bit more, as far as the timing. You know, I can't be at the house to let people in. I have to coordinate with my realtor and all of that. So I FedExed him a check. I filled out all of the permit paperwork for him. I had it notarized. I sent it down to him. He went radio silent on me for 2 weeks, and then he comes back and says, oh, sorry, I had COVID, and this week I'm going on vacation. And then by this time, it was the beginning of July. So then that's when I reached out to you a couple weeks ago and said, what do I do? I can't find anybody who's willing to fix this for me, and it seems like such an easy thing to fix. And that's when the inspector told me to reach out to a company called Aruba Services, who deals with code corrections. I've signed the paperwork with them, I've put down the deposit, and they're gonna start on it next week. So I have been working on the issue, it's just
How much
been
time do you need?
impossible. That I don't know, because I don't know how long it's gonna take to get a permit, because I recently redid the roof, and that took 2 months just to get the permits back before work could start from that. So I would prefer that it's contingent on that kind of a timeline, unless you can push through the permit.
The city doesn't oppose to 63 days extension.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
We'll do 63 days and suspend the fines during that period.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 33. Chief Georgia Leva, property address 2886 Northeast 26th Place. Owner PBFT Realty LLC, case number CE 16080444. Extensions noted in the agenda. This case was first heard on 9/15/16 to comply by 10/20/16. One section complied at $400. Go ahead, Chief.
George Oliva, on behalf of the city, presenting the case as read and the address. The unit did came into compliance. This was a very old case from 2016 regarding the previous owner living inside the property without the CO issue. We had a PCO issue for him, so he could remain in the part of the house that was originally, as long as his permits were active. So it took him from 2016 all the way to now to come into compliance because a brand new owner bought the property, which is here. So at this moment, I do believe that we can reduce the fines to an administration cost only for $2,885.92.
Sir, please state your name.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Frank Tallarico.
Okay, are you in agreement with the fines being abated and the reduction to administrative costs of $2,885?
Well, I have a quick question. I purchased the property back in May. When I purchased it, the title company and the attorney told me that it was foreclosed by the bank. And that's how they got the old owner out. And during the foreclosure, when the foreclosure happened, that all the fines would be wiped out in the foreclosure. So I'm not sure if that's the status quo. If not, then yes, I would be willing.
Yeah. Do you
Well, the attorney gave you bad advice because fines are not wiped out in foreclosures. The liens are wiped out in foreclosures.
liens, okay.
So the fines still remain against the prior owner in theory
Okay.
and on the property.
I would be in agreement then to take the
Okay,
2,800.
all right, thank you very much.
Thank you. And where do I pay?
I don't,
Okay.
yeah, you'll get it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Our next case is on page 20. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 722 Northeast 14th Ave. 1-4, owner Gary L. Michelle, case number BE 2204-0013. This case was first heard on 6/16/22 to comply by 8/18/22. 2 sections not complied at $50 per violation.
Tasha, can you give me the case on the page again?
722 Northeast 14th Ave, page 20, BE 2204-0013.
722. 722.
It's an old business case. It was ordered to
Okay,
reappear.
Okay, now okay, 722, okay. Inspector Martinez representing the city, case analysis as read. The owner hired an engineer who contacted me, and he's working on the drawings. I'm gonna let the defendant to speak.
Sir, please state your name.
Good morning, Gary Michael, homeowner. As Leo has indicated, I've hired a professional structural engineer to look at the property. He's looked at the data now. He's done field analysis of the data in preparation of an as-built. He's collected sketches, hand sketches, and structural calculations. And he's in the process of now collecting all this and sending to his draftsman to create formal drawings.
Okay, how much time do you think you need to?
I requested an extension of 63 days.
Okay, any objection from the city?
Not all, city agrees.
Okay, 63 days, suspend the fines during that time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 17, Inspector Nashmatic, property address 6750 Northwest 27th Way. Owner Gerard Anthony Scalzo, case number BE 2201-0175. Notice posted at the property on 7/6/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Matic for case as read. This property was initially visited on February 15, 2022. The entire house was completed, painted, and it took a little bit of research to figure out what was going on there. The new door was put in, the front door. There was a siding on the side of the house, on the front of the house, that was put in, and the shed on the north side of the house was put in, all without a permit. Initial report was sent on March 28th of this year, and a final notice was sent on April 29th of this year. Hearing was scheduled on June 27th of this year, and at this time, Your Honor, would like to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or fine of $50 per day per violation thereafter.
Sir, please state your name.
Jerry Scalzo.
Okay, Mr. Scalzo, are you willing to bring the property into compliance within 63 days?
Yeah, Nash and I spoke. We're going to get a engineer to get us some apps, and we'll fill it out as long as we can get permits by 63 days, and of course.
Okay, all right, thank you very
simple.
much.
Okay.
Our next case is on page 23. It's a hearing to impose fines. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 2347 Northwest 13th Street. Owner Dimitri Dupli, case number BE 211-10023. This case was first heard on 3/17/22 to comply by 7/15/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose fines of $1,650, which continues to accrue.
Inspector Martinez representing the city. I'm gonna let the defendant to speak. The case is not complied yet.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Anneli Smoke.
Okay, why is it taking so long to bring the property into compliance?
Owner's out of state. He hired a contractor that took the deposit and they didn't do any work. So they were trying to go after him first. And in addition to, as you know, it's hard to find a good contractor. So they finally hired a contractor that has a permit in place at this point. They hired the plumber, the electrical, and So they're in the process of getting it all done at this point.
How much time are you requesting?
We'd like to get an extension for at least 60 to 90 days to make sure the permitting gets through, but if you think it can get done in the 61 days, then
Your Honor, city will agree to 42 days. In case the permits are in process, I don't think that more than 42 days needed.
Okay. All right. We'll give you 42 days, and if you run into a problem, make sure you contact the inspector.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Our next case is on page 26, Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 1451 Northeast 10th Ave. Owner, Catalonia Florida Holdings, Inc., case number BE 2201-0035. Notice posted at the property on, this case was first heard on 5/19/22 to comply by 6/16/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,100, which continues to accrue.
Inspector Maddock, updating the case. This case is partially complied. What is left is a fence permit that needs to be completed. I will let the...
Please state your name for the record.
The representative, Edrin Janvier.
Okay. And why hasn't the fence been permitted yet?
We have contracted Biscayne Engineering. I'm waiting on a survey to be completed. As soon as the survey is completed, submit to the city for a permit before I can call for final
How
inspection.
much time are you requesting?
60 days, if possible.
City does not oppose the 63 days.
Okay, 63 days, and we'll suspend the fines.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case, Inspector Leonardo Martinez, is on page 20. Property address 3025 Center Ave. Case number BE 211-20013. Owner, Lakshmi Adipali and Kranti Alapada. This case was first heard on 6/16/22 to comply by 8/18/22. One section not complied at $50.
Morning, Your Honor. Inspector Martinez representing the city. Case analysis as read. I'm gonna allow the defendant to speak.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
My name is Matt Rogue, and I'm an agent.
Okay, you're here on a request for extension. Give me a status on the property and how much time you need.
I applied for a variance, and after talking with the department, it sounds like it's going to be at least 60 days to get the variance if it's yes or no, and then a permit after that. So I'm going to need, I think, 90 days.
Any objection from the city?
We will agree to 91 days. Not a
91
problem.
days and suspend the fines. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case, Inspector Jorge Martinez, is on page 3. It's a new business case. Property address 1007. Do I have a respondent here for 1007 Northwest 1st Ave? Okay, never mind, forget that. Inspector Leonardo Martinez on page 8. It's a new business case. Property address 638 Northeast 18th Avenue. Case number BE 2203-0104. Owner Albert Chauvet and Berenice Chauvet. Notice posted at the property on 6/28/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Martinez representing the city. Case analysis as read. On March 31st of 2022, a contractor named Nick allowed me access into this property. Inside, I observed a new kitchen and bathrooms, interior partition removal, new door opening, new electrical panel and lights, new sewer, new water heater, and new AC. I explained to the contractor that they need to obtain the required permit before continuing any work, and I posted an store work order. The property was cited for work without permit on the Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. This case was opened up on March 29th of 2022, and the inspection report was mailed to the owner on April 6th of 2022. Final notice was mailed to the property owner on May 13th of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on June 28th of 2022. A permit for interior renovation was applied on June 21st of 2022. The permit is still in process. We are asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Please state your name, sir.
Albert Chauvet.
Are you in agreement to bring the property into compliance within 63 days?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 24, Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 1526 Northwest 11th Court, case number BE 211-20010, owner Chris Olson Guillaume, Christine Guillaume. This case was first heard on 4/14/22 to comply by 6/16/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose fines of $3,100, which continues to accrue. Sure. BE 211-20010, 1526 Northwest 11th Court. It's a Massey.
Sorry. Inspector Sargusti, on behalf of the city, presenting the case as read. The case is not compliant. I will let the respondent to speak.
Please state your name for the record, sir.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Louis Leon.
Okay, and why is the property not yet in compliance?
The property is submitted for permits already. It's undergoing revision. I do have the revision handy, ready to submit. However, the engineer's part, we're just waiting on a couple of calculations to be finalized. Once that is done, we are trying to do everything we can.
How much time are you requesting?
60 days.
City doesn't oppose to 63 days extension.
Okay,
And stop the
63
fines.
days and a suspended of fines.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 26. Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 941 Southwest 30th Ave. Owner Keith Gale, case number CE 201-01321. This case was first heard on 4/15/21 to comply by 6/17/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. Fines imposed at the 5/19/22 hearing.
Inspector Maddock updating the case. I met with the contractor and he provided the plans and permit applications. However, they were incomplete, so we have to turn them back. We're waiting back to see, when they come in to submit for the after the fact permitting.
Okay. Sir, please state your name.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Warren Gale.
Okay. And are you requesting more time today?
Please, yes,
Okay, and how much are you requesting?
both 90 days to comply.
City does not oppose.
The fines are already imposed. Oh, sorry.
Pardon?
I said the fines were already imposed at the May's hearing. I'm not sure what type of extension were already imposed.
Okay.
Oh, so I'm advised that the other special magistrate just asked for updates because obviously this has been pending for over a year.
Okay.
So at this point, it's just, I guess, an update, and the
okay.
fines have been imposed.
All right. Apparently, the fines have already been ruled on, so they're going to continue to accrue. And then you're going to have to come back and address them, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 6. Inspector Jose Sargusti, page 6. Property address 5820 Northeast 14th Road. Case number BE 211-10120. Owner Lane Ewan. Notice posted at the property on 6/29/22. Posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Jose Sargusti, Building Inspector for the city, presenting the case as read. I received this case on March 22nd, 2022. The case was opened by Senior Structural Inspector Bobby Masula for 2 large tiki hut built. This property was cited for expired permit under for work without permit under Florida Building Code 2020-105.1, work without permit. This case was opened in November 22nd, 2021. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner December 15, 2022. Final notice was mailed on March 23rd, 2022, and notice of hearing was posted on the property in June 2022. In this day, I met Mark, the general contractor, and Mike for the general contractor, and Mark from the Tiki Huts.
Oh, yes.
I will let the respondent to speak.
Sir, please state your name.
Michael Gorman.
Okay.
Okay, so the owner hired some unlicensed contractors. They built a couple tiki huts, some deck work, a number of items. I had to demo I submitted for permitting. I demoed out the 2 tiki huts that were built illegally. In the process of demoing, we demoed the deck, half of the deck, but
How much time do you need?
I'm thinking 63 would be probably.
Is that okay with the
City
city?
doesn't oppose to 63 days extension and stop
Okay. Oh,
Oh, yes.
63 days,
63
or
days.
what's the fine after that?
Sorry?
63 days, and what's the fine after that?
$50 per day thereafter.
Okay, 63 days or a fine of $50 a day thereafter.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case, Chief Georgia Leva, page 29, property address 408 Northwest 14th Terrace. Owner, Fort Lauderdale Community Redevelopment Agency. Case number BE-19120044. This case was first heard on 2/18/21. I don't have a respondent here for this. All right, George, we'll call this one later.
What?
We'll call this one later. There's no respondent here. Page 23, Inspector Leonardo Martinez. Property address 2621 Northeast 13th Court. Owner, G.S. Leeward, LLC. Case number BE-211-10018. This case was first heard on 2/17/22 to comply by 5/19/22. One section complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $550.
Inspector Martinez, representing the city, case and address as read. City is requesting full amount to be imposed.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Daniela Leo.
Okay, and what would you like to tell me about the fines?
We agree to the fines.
Pardon me?
We agree to the fines.
Okay, $550.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 31, Chief Georgia Leva. Property address 1441 North Dixie Highway. Owner, Friendly Tabernacle Church of God in Christ, Inc. Case number BE-2109-0176. This case was first heard on 1/20/22 to comply by 3/3/22. One section complied at $100. City is requesting to reduce fines to administrative cost of $575.
George Oliva for the city, case and address as read. Yes, Your Honor, we're requesting the fine to be reduced to the administration cost of $575.
Okay, sir, please state your name.
David Fletcher.
Okay, Mr. Fletcher, are you in agreement with the reduction of the fines to administrative costs of $575?
I was hoping it would be zeroed out. If not,
Okay.
Your Honor, this is the lowest that it can go.
Okay. Those are the city's basic costs, sir, so I'm going to impose them $575.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there anyone here that's for special magistrate for the building division? Is everyone here for lien reduction? You're for special magistrate? I'm sorry, what's the? Oh, Fort Lauderdale Community? Oh, yeah, I had called that one and asked if there were anyone who was here. Okay, recalling page 29, property address 408, Northwest 14th Terrace, owner Fort Lauderdale Community Redevelopment Agency, case number BE-19120044. This case was first heard on 2/18/21. To comply by 4/1/21, one section complied at $100. Totaling $19,400. City's requesting for fines to be abated.
Jorge Leva for the city, case and address as read. At this moment, the property is in compliance and we're requesting the fines to be abated.
Okay, please state your name.
Janelle Adderley.
Okay, I assume you're in agreement with abating the fines.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, if this concludes all of our respondents for the special magistrate part. Okay. Moving back to page 1 at the bottom. Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 912 Northeast 2nd Ave, owner 912 2nd LLC, case number BE22040147. Notice posted at the property on 7/25/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. This case was opened on April 20, 2022. Property was cited for the following violations: Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.3.2.1. The following permit was left to expire. Permit number PM 19040754. An inspection report was mailed to the property owner on April 21st, 2022. Final notice was mailed on May 26, 2022. Final notice of hearing was posted on the property on July 25th, 2022. City is requesting 28 days to comply or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Your Honor, if I could amend the inspector's request, only in this situation. This was an after-the-fact permit, so the property owner did the wrong thing the first time by demolishing and not getting the required permit. Then they pulled the after-the-fact permit and still couldn't do the right thing because they allowed that to expire. Thirdly, they're not present today, so I would respectfully request that the daily fine be $150.
Okay, so ordered.
Moving on to page 2 at the bottom. Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 1424 Southeast 15th Street, owner Norwich Apartments Condo Association, Inc., case number BE21070028. Notice delivered via personal service to Michael Bowman on 6/15/22, posted at City Hall on 8/4/22.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. This case was opened on July 7, 2021. Property was cited for the following violations: 9-280B. There are building parts which are deteriorated or not maintained, including concrete spalling and cracks in several areas of the building. I've been in contact with the secretary of the Homeowners Association. They are working on obtaining permits and start repairs for the building. Actually, building permit BLD CRES 22060006 have been issued, and repairs are about to start, according to the information I received from the secretary of the HOA. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on January 7, 2022. Final notice was mailed out on April 22nd, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted at the property on June 15, 2022. The city is requesting for your magistrate to find that the violation exists and order the property owner to come into compliance within 91 days or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Moving on to page 3, Inspector Jorge Martinez, property address 1007 Northwest First Ave, case number BE 2206-0125, owner Sunrise Paradise Plaza Corp., A to Z Commercial Holdings, Inc. Notice posted at property 7/8/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Martinez for the city, presenting case as read. This property is in disrepair and in its present condition is considered to be unhabitable and a public nuisance and a hazard to the health and well-being of the community. The owners appear to be unwilling or unable to maintain the property to minimum standards for human occupancy and minimum maintenance standards of the FBC as adopted by City Ordinance 9-1D. Due to the owners being unwilling or unable to maintain the property according to the minimum standards established on the city ordinance, the city is requesting the following: that in the next 60 days, the owner applies for the required permits to bring the property into compliance with signed and sealed submittal documents from a licensed design professional, including an accurate itemized cost to restore the structure to meet the standards for human occupancy and to meet the minimum housing standards, or apply a demolition permit to demolish the unsafe and habitable structure, including all accessory structures on the parcel. In the event the owner does not apply for the permits and move forward with the rehabilitation or demolition of the property, the city will move forward with the demolition, including all accessory structures on the parcel, at owner's expense, and may lien the property to recover the demolition cost.
So ordered.
Oh, also, Your Honor, on that one, Jorge, we need to ask for the final order to be recorded.
Okay. And for the final order to be recorded.
Okay, so ordered.
At the bottom of page 3, property address 2406 Nassau Lane, case number BE 2204-0227, owner Hernan Beltran, Sandra Beltran. Notice posted at the property on 7/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Martinez, on behalf of the city, presenting case as read. This building has been illegally altered and construction work illegally performed without obtaining the required permits in the following manner, but not limited to: new outdoor wood staircase, wood deck, and new retention wall. The city will request 63 days to comply or a fine of $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
Page 4, property address 2548 Tortugas Lane, 2548 Tortugas LLC, case number BE 2109-0013. Notice posted at the property on 7/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Martinez, on behalf of the city, presenting case as read. This building has been illegally altered and construction work illegally performed without obtaining the required permits in the following manner, but not limited to: new dock and new wood fence. City will request 63 days to comply or a fine of $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 1201 Southwest 17th Street. Jose, case number BE 2205-0094, owner Marcy and Paul Weinberg. Notice posted at the property on 8/1/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Jose Sargusti, building inspector for the city, presenting the case as read. I visited the property on May 16, 2022, and met the property owner, Mr. Paul Weinberg. I let him know the property is in violation for Florida Building Code 2020, Code Section 111.1.1 for building occupied without a certificate of occupancy. The case was opened on May 16, 2022. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on May 16, 2022. Final notice was mailed on June 17, 2022, and notice of hearing was posted at the property in August 8, 2022. The customer is working hard to have the permit complete. For that, the city is requesting 91 days extension on a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay,
How many days did you?
91 days
91.
extension.
okay, so ordered.
Okay, moving on to page 6. Inspector Hector Suarez, property address 702 Northeast 5th Street. Owner Farhani Kamani, case number BE 2204-0191, posted at the property on 6/30/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Suarez presenting case BE 2204-0191-702 Northeast 5th Street. Property was inspected on April 27, 2022, and the following violation was observed. 28155, parentheses A through F. The existing fire backflow prevention device has not been tested for the subsequent recertification as per City of Fort Lauderdale Municipal Code of Ordinances. Final notice was mailed to owner listed on BCPA on April 27, 2021. Notice of hearing was posted June 30th, 2022. As of pre-hearing inspection on August 12th, 2022, violation remains per BSI Online. The city is requesting 42 days or $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
Page 7, property address 2211 Southwest 29th Ave. Owner Ernesto Le Diaz and Yitzka Di Rivero and all others. Case number BE 2204-0218. Notice posted at the property 7/15/22. Posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Suarez presenting case as read. Property was inspected on April 29, 2022, and the following violation was observed as depicted in the photos. 91D. Any violation of the Florida Building Code shall be a violation of this section and punishable as provided for in the section. There is construction work at this property that was started or completed without obtaining the required permits, consistent of but not limited to wood fence. A courtesy notice was posted to the property on April 29, 2022. An inspection report was mailed to owner listed in BCPA on May 2nd, 2022. Final notice sent on July 6, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted on July 15, 2022. As of pre-hearing inspection on August 11, 2022, there has been a permit applied for but not issued. Violation remains. The city is requesting 42 days or $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
Page 7, property address 2587 Southwest 30th Ave. Owner Stephen L. Dumont, Richard Martier. Case number BE 2202-0138. Notice posted at the property 7/20/22. Posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Suarez presenting case as read. Property was inspected on March 2nd, 2022, and the following violation was observed as depicted in the photos. 91D. Any violation of the Florida Building Code shall be a violation of this section and punishable as provided for in this section. There is construction work at this property that was started or completed without obtaining the required permits consistent of but not limited to walkway, pavers, and driveway. Courtesy notice was posted to the property on March 2nd, 2022. An inspection report and final notice were mailed to owner listed on BCPA on May 4th, 2022. Notice of hearing posted on July 20th, 2022. As of pre-hearing inspection of August 12, 2022, violation remains. The city is requesting 42 days or $50 per day thereafter for violation.
So ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Moving
Have a good
on
day.
to page 9, Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 648 Northeast 16th Terrace, case number BE 2204-0162, owner Venture Noob LLC, notice posted at the property on 7/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
648.
Oh, 648, okay. Inspector Martinez representing the city, case analysis as read. I visited this property on April 21st of 2022, and I observed several workers in the property doing extensive work on the exterior. I asked for the owner or the person in charge, and one of the workers called the person that was in charge of the work. His name was Rodney. He arrived to the property later. I issued a stop work order and asked him for the owner to call me or the qualified contractor. At the moment, he denied me entrance into the property. Later during the day, I received a call from the owner, Christopher Bloom, who, after a few emails, involved an architect, Zachary Rose, who later met us in the property, and as us was surprised of the volume of work and how it was performed. In that meeting, Court Officer Hector Suarez and Mary Bridge, Stellan Hayes, detective from the Florida PD, were at the house with me. Inside the property, we also observed a complete house remodeling, including roof rafters, floor joists, and sheathing. Exterior wood frame walls, exterior wall covering, new fascia board, interior partition, new plumber, with new water heater, new electrical, including interior panels and mechanical permits for all that is required, and also new windows and doors. A posted and stowable corner of the property was cited for work without permit under Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. This case was opened and inspection report was mailed to the owner in April 22nd of 2022. The final notice was sent to the property owner on June 2nd of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on July 14th of 2022. Until now, no permit application has been submitted. The owner has been in contact with me. I know that they have the architect putting the documentation together, but until now, nothing has happened. We're asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 9, 1470 North Dixie Highway. Owner, Wisteria Court Condo Association, Inc. Case number BE 22040132. Notice posted at the property 7/14/22. Posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. I visited this property with plumber plan examiner Tommy Tai. We observed that a PEX water supply line that was connected to a copper supply line, and it was left above ground near the northwest side entrance of the building. No record was found in the city for this type of work. The property was cited for work without permit on the Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. This case was open and inspection report was mailed to the property owner on April 19 of 2022. Final notice was sent to the property owner on May 26 of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on July 5th of 2022. No permit has been applied yet. They contacted me a few days ago, and they are on the way to submit for the required permit, Your Honor. We're asking Your Honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 56 days to come into compliance, or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Moving on to page 10, property address 1737 Northeast First Street. Case number BE 22030065. Owner Jeremy and Janet Webby, Edward P. and Kimberly R. Jackson. Notice posted at the property on 7/14/22. Posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. I visited this property and observed that the pavers in the exterior of the property were removed, and they were preparing the ground to install new pavers. In the property, I met with Chris, who works for the owner of the property. At the time of the inspection, he was painting. I informed him that I was posting on a stop work order and explained him to let the owner and the contractor know that nobody should be performing any type of work without permits. The property was cited for work without permit on the Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. This case was opened on March 21st, 2022, An inspection report was sent on March 22nd of 2022. Final notice was sent to the property owner on June 1st of 2022, and the notice of hearing was posted at the property on July 12th of 2022. Building for installing new paver was applied on March 31st of 2022. The permit is still in process. We're asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 35 days to come into compliance or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Moving on to page 11, Chief Georgia Leva, property address 500 Southeast 6th Street, owner Fort Pruff Rock Land Trust, Fort Pruff Rock Trustee LLC Trustee, case number BE 220300039, notice posted at the property on 6/10/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
George Olive on behalf of the city, case and address as read. The 40-year report was submitted to the city, but it needs correction, and the city requesting for the owner to come into compliance on 180 days or $100 per day thereafter.
So ordered.
At the bottom of page 11, property address 621 South Federal Highway, case number BE 22030037, owner Fort Pruff Rock Land Trust, Fort Pruff Rock Trustee LLC, notice posted at the property on 6/28/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
George Oliva for the city, case and address as read. The report was submitted to the city, but it fell, and we're asking for a 180-day extension to come into compliance and $100 per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Page 12, property address 633 South Federal Highway, case number BE 22030034, owner Fort Pruff Rock Land Trust, Fort Pruff Rock Trustee LLC Trustee, notice posted at the property on 7/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Case as address and read. They submit the report to the city, but it needs correction, and the city requesting for the owner to come into compliance in 180 days and $100 per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Moving on to page 13, property address 3250 Northeast 28th Street, owner Les Circle by the Beach Condo Association, case number BE 22050170, notice posted at the property 7/14/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Case and address as read. They submit the report to the city, but it needs correction, and the city requesting from the owner to come into compliance on 180 days or $100 per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Okay, moving on to page 15, Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 1044 Northwest 7th Ave, owner North Bimini LLC, case number CE 22030721, notice posted at the property on 7/6/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Inspector Maddock, representing the city for the address and case as read. This case was opened on March 15, 2022. During our visit to the property, we observed multiple work done without obtaining a permit. Following was done without a permit. New front door installed, 2 new windows on the same side, framing and drywall inside of the building, electrical work throughout, plumbing work for the bathroom and the kitchen, and doors replacement throughout the unit. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on March 28, 2022. Final notice was sent to the property on May 4th, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted on the property on June 2022. Current status of this case, as of today, there is no permit applied for. However, there is a little extenuating circumstances on this case. Apparently, it came to light that recently large SUV tried to park itself on the roof of this building, damaging the roof and the walls, which kind of brought this building in somewhat unsafe conditions. So this would bring this case to have a little more time to comply with inside work, since it's directly involving the side of the building where the work was done. So at this time, we're asking Your Honor to find the violation exists and to grant the property owner 91 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day per violation thereafter.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Property address 1121 Mango Isle. Owner JLF Holdings LLC. Case number BE 22020100. Notice posted at the property 6322. Posted at City Hall 8422. Inspector Nash-Matic. 1121 Mango Isle. You have the next few cases, so you might as well bring them all up.
Inspector Matic presenting the case for, as address and case as read. This case was opened February 14, 2022. During our visit to the property, we observed work done without obtaining a permit on the back of the house, which was a large structure that was built without obtaining a permit. During one of our future visits to this property, we also discovered that there was a numerous work performed inside of the house without obtaining the permit. The Fort Lauderdale PD was involved, tried to stop them from work, but nobody would come out to the door so we can access the property. Inspection report was mailed to this property owner on March 28, 2022, and final notice was sent to the property on April 28, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted on the property on May 27, 2022. As of today, permit application has not been applied for any of the work done on this property. At this time, we're asking Your Honor to find that the violation exists and to grant property owner 28 days to come into compliance or fine of $150 per violation per day thereafter.
So ordered.
At the bottom of page 15, property address 1121 Southwest 18th Street. Owner Paris 51 Properties Corp. Case number BE 22030010. Notice posted at the property on 7/6/22. Posted at City Hall 8422.
Inspector Matic, representing city for a case and address as read. This case was opened on March 23, 2022. During our visit to this property, we observed work done without obtaining a permit, starting with fence erected around the property and major interior renovation of the house. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on March 23, 22. Final notice was sent to the property owner on May 25, 22. And notice of hearing was posted at the property on June 30, 2022. As of today, there is no permit application submitted for this property. However, I'm staying in touch with the owner of the property, and she's informed me the process that she's going through to get this. I also spoke with the engineer of the records, and he's working on the plans for that property. So at this time, we're asking Your Honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or fine of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
So ordered.
Moving on to page 16, property address 1709 Northeast 15th Ave, 1-4. Case number BE 22020094. Owner Quocation LLC. Notice posted at the property 7522. Posted at City Hall 8422.
Inspector Matic presenting the city for cases and addresses read. This case was opened on February 12, 2022. During our visit to the property, we observed work done without obtaining permits, starting with a new air conditioning unit installed, electrical panel replacement, and the wall AC units removed and openings blocked. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on February 15, 2022. Final notice was sent on the property on April 20, 2022. And notice of hearing was posted at the property of June 28, 2022. As of today, partial permit application has been applied for this violation. Electrical application for panel change and AC connection has not been submitted at this time. At this time, we're asking Your Honor to find that the violation exists and grant the property owner 63 days to come into the compliance or fine of $50 per day per violation thereafter.
So ordered.
At the bottom of page 16, property address 2700 Yacht Club Boulevard, 7C. Case number BE 22040167, owner Daniel V. Alfonso. Notice posted at the property on 8/3/22, posted at City Hall 8/4/22.
Can you move on to the next?
2700
Can I
Yacht
come
Club
back?
Boulevard.
Can I come back?
I'm sorry?
Can you read next? I'll to come back.
Don't,
I need to check it on my computer.
okay, we'll have to recall that case. Page 19, Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 100 Southwest 3rd Ave, owner Nugent Avenue Retail LLC, case number BE 22040210. This case was first heard on 6/16/22 to comply by 7/21/22. One section not complied at $100. Fines are $2,700.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. The permit hasn't been issued. I will request the case to be scheduled for the next available Massey hearing to impose fines.
So ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Page 20 at the bottom, property address 4100 Gulf Ocean Drive, Inspector Leonardo Martinez. Oh, sorry, that was rescheduled. Sorry. Moving on to page. You ready? Okay. We're going to go back to page 16 for 2700 Yacht Club Boulevard, 7C. Inspector Nash Maddock.
Inspector Maddock for the City of Fort Lauderdale, presenting the case and address as read. This case was opened on April 27, 2022. During our visit at the property, we observed work done without obtaining a permit. There was a fence and a deck by the front door installed without obtaining a permit. Inspection report was mailed on a property to the property owner on April 29th of this year. Final notice was sent to the property on June 1st, 2022, and notice of hearing was posted to the property on July 11, 2022. As of today, permit application has not been applied for this violation. However, I spoke with the owner of the property, and he just came back in town, saw the violation, and he would like to rectify the situation and pull the permit for this. So at this time, we're asking Your Honor to find that violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or fine of $50 per violation per day and thereafter.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to page 24 at the top, property address, Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 50 Isle of Venice, owner 50 Isle of Venice LLC, case number BE 20040034. There are extensions noted in the agenda. This case was first heard on 12/8/20 to comply by 1/19/21. One section complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $16,900.
Inspector Sargusti, on behalf of the city, presenting the case as read. The case is in compliance. The property it has demolition in progress. For that one, the city is recommending administrative cost of $926. $926.
9,026.
900.
926. $926.
Okay. Okay, so ordered.
Thank you.
Page 25 at the bottom, Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 6000 Northwest 21st Ave, case number BE 20080115, owner City of Fort Lauderdale and care of Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. This case was first heard on 12/16/21 to comply by 1/20/22. Fine suspended as noted. City requests to vacate order of 6/16/22 and abate fines.
So ordered.
Okay, page 26 at the bottom, Inspector Nash Maddock, property address 1500 Northeast 12th Street. Owner Christopher Coles, case number BE 211-06310. This case was first heard on 2/17/22 to comply by 3/17/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the fines of $7,650, which continues to accrue.
So ordered.
Inspector Maddock, updating the case. The case is still not in compliance. No permit applied, no
All right,
Nothing,
thank
so
you.
we're
Okay.
here to impose the fines. Thank you.
Page 27, property address 524 Northwest 21st Terrace. Owner, Kodos Investments, SALLC, case number BE 211-10093. This case was first heard on 1/20/22 to comply by 2/24/22. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $87,000, which continues to accrue.
So ordered.
Page 28, property address 916 Southwest 24th Ave. Owner BRRRR Properties LLC. Case number CE 2105-0447. Notice this case was first heard on 8/19/21 to comply by 9/16/21. One section not complied at $250. City is requesting to impose fines of $83,750, which continues to accrue.
So ordered.
Page 29, property address 3308 Northeast 40th Court, case number CE 2012-0326. Owner Martin A. Wojciak, homestead exempted for Othane Manovang. This case was first heard on 3/17/22. Excuse me. To comply by 5/19/22, one section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose fines of $4,500, which continues to accrue.
So ordered.
Page 30, property address 440 Northwest 6th Street. Owner, Broward County Longshoremen's Association, Inc. Case number BE 200400207. This case was first heard on 12/8/20 to comply by 1/19/21. One section complied at $100. City is requesting to reduce fines to $1,275.
So ordered.
Property address 834 Northwest 10th Terrace, case number BE 200400140. Owner, Rempati Ram and Chandrel Ramsaran and all others. This case was first heard on 2/18/21 to comply by 4/1/21. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting to impose fines of $50,300, which continues to accrue.
So ordered.
Page 31, at the top, property address 1400 Northeast 5th Ave. Owner, Faith Church of the Nazarene, case number BE 200500184. This case was first heard 2/18/21 to comply by 4/1/21. One section complied at $100. City is requesting to reduce fines to administrative costs of $575.
So ordered.
Property address on page 32. Property address 2029 North Ocean Boulevard. Owner, Trade Winds by the Sea, Inc. Case number BE 21070037. This case was first heard on 12/16/21 to comply by 6/14/22. One section complied at $100. City is requesting to reduce fines to administrative costs of $575.
So ordered.
Property address 2300 Northwest 6th Street. Owner, SKAB LLC, case number BE 21090177. This case was first heard on 6/16/22 to comply by 7/28/22. City is requesting for a 180-day extension.
So ordered.
Property address 2491 West State Road 84, case number CE 17041134. Owner, Bill B. Richardson Livable Trust. Extensions noted in the agenda. This case was first heard on 8/17/17 to comply by 2/13/18. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting to impose fines of $102,100, which continues to accrue.
So ordered.
And at this time, Your Honor, this concludes all of our cases. We would like to enter into the record all the cases that are listed on page 35 as closed or withdrawn or rescheduled.
So ordered.
Thank you. This concludes the August 18th, 2022 Special Magistrate hearing for the Building Division.
for August 18th, 2022. If you wish to speak at today's proceedings, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's proceedings? Okay, you can have a seat.
Our first case is on page 1 for the property located at 401 North Birch Road, number 1014. Case number CE 22020384. This case has a total lien value of $4,800 and city direct costs of $473.46, and the city is requesting $2,400.
Gustavo, do you swear and affirm to translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I am the owner, Denise Iñiguez.
Okay. And what do you want to tell me in mitigation of the fine?
Solicito, por favor. Perdón, ¿en español? Solicito, por
I
favor,
would like to ask, please,
la reducción de mi penalidad.
the reduction of my penalties.
Nunca actué de mala fe.
I've never acted in bad faith.
Yo administro mi propiedad.
I actually administer my own property.
La tenía bloqueada en Airbnb
I actually had I had it blocked in Airbnb,
y no recibí ingresos
and I never received any income
en todo este periodo.
in all of this period.
Cuando planeé abrir la Airbnb, desbloquearlo,
When I plan to open up again Airbnb and unblock it
renovar mis licencias,
to renew all my licenses,
me topo con la penalidad.
I was actually addressed with the fine.
Por este motivo solicito
In this motive, in this instance, I ask for to lower my penalty
ya que no recibí ingresos.
because I never received any income and I never acted out of bad faith. Te tienen que escuchar. Te tienen que
I
escuchar.
repeat. Okay. Solicito, por favor,
I am asking, I please ask
la reducción de mi penalidad,
to reduce the penalties of my fines.
ya que no actué de mala fe,
I've never acted in bad faith.
no recibí ingresos sobre este periodo de Airbnb
I never received any income from the house through Airbnb,
ya que siempre lo tuve bloqueado.
since I've always had it blocked.
No sabía
I didn't know.
de que tenía que sacarlo de la lista
I didn't know that I actually had to get the listing out of the listing itself.
Por ese motivo yo decía, no estoy usándolo, no tenía la necesidad de renovar la licencia.
And since I was not using the property, I was not using it. I did not know that I had to take the listing out.
Cuando planeaba desbloquearlo,
When I planned to use it or unblock it again,
me topo con la penalidad en el momento de hacer las renovaciones de la lista.
I was addressed with the penalties that I am here today for.
Por ese motivo,
And for this motive,
solicito una vez más
I am
la,
asking again
la remoción de la penalidad, ya que no actué de mala fe.
if you can reduce or take away the fines because I've never acted in bad faith.
Okay, I will reduce the fines to $1,000 with 60 days to pay.
$1,000 a 60 días a pagar. $1,000 a 60 días a pagar.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Gus.
Let me let all of you know that should I reduce your fines today and the fines are not paid within the time that I order, then the fine reverts back to the original amount. So just so you're all aware. Okay, next case.
Our next case is on page 5 for the property located at 1901 Northeast 56th Street. Case number CE 22041051, owner TTT Rentals LLC. This case has a total lien value of $5,200 and city direct cost of $499.48, and the city is in agreement with the applicant's offer of $2,500.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Tom Shields.
Okay, and we'll accept the settlement then. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, how long do you need to pay? 60 days, okay?
I can pay today.
Pardon me?
I can pay even today.
Okay,
What was the settlement?
2,500.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 60.
Our next case is on page 5 for the property located at 2151 Northwest 29th Terrace. Owner Cesar Gonzalez for case number CE 1508032. This case has a total lien value of $48,950 and city direct cost of $1,160.03. The city is requesting $7,342.50.
Please state your name for the record.
Hi, Mike Baru.
Okay.
I have a power of attorney from.
Okay, and what do you want to tell me in mitigation of these fines?
This was a very complicated house that was a fire damage home, and we had to pull all the permits from scratch. We had to almost rebuild half of the house, and it took us a lot of time, more than expected.
It was
And
out of compliance for 1,076 days.
yeah, because it's what?
1,076 days it was out of compliance.
When? Because we only bought it in 2018, so we were not the ones that had the fire damage. We bought it as a fire damage, and we fixed it, and then we sold it at a loss, and now we have money in escrow, and we just need to have it released.
Okay, and how much money do you have in escrow?
$3,000.
Pardon me?
$3,000.
All right, I will reduce the fine to $3,000 with 60 days to pay.
Okay, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 6 for the property located at 3170 Northwest 69th Court. Owner Kadeen Bird. Case number CE 22030447. This case has a total lien value of $8,000 and city direct cost of $407.48. The city is requesting $4,000. This was a citation and no appeal was received during the initial hearing.
I'm sorry, what was the last part, ma'am?
This was originally a citation and no appeal was received for that citation.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Jonathan Jacobson, have power of attorney for Ms. Kadeen Bird.
Okay, and what do you want to tell me in mitigation of the fines?
Ms. Kadeen Bird received this citation, I believe, in March, and was given 15 days based on all the support uploaded. She took action immediately. She contacted Mr. Colon, I think it is, and Mr. Champagne, I think, and corresponded with them in emails. She went through the process of getting all the licenses, registrations, paying all the taxes. This was her first attempt at it without talking to me. And,
Why didn't she
as you can
file
see
an
by the
appeal?
history, I'm sorry?
Why didn't she file an appeal? That's always puts everyone behind the 8 ball, because they have 15 days.
The reason she told me is she didn't know and she didn't seek my counsel when she got the document. I can't explain other than that, because if I received this, I would appeal it and show the progression that she took when we got to that point. So I don't have a reason for it, and I'm not certainly not going to make one up.
The other thing she could have done was to take down the advertising while she got her ducks in a row. That also would have complied the case.
Let me explain that piece. Again, just ignorance doesn't, win cases. I get that. But I believe this was her first time. She went to New York for some family issues. She should have followed the rules. You know, I think that based on her due diligence to get things done, that we ask for an amount below that. We offered 800. I know the costs are 470, I believe. You know, so we just, we think 4,000. We appreciate the reduction. Don't take me for not saying that, but since the first time she showed diligence, she hired me to come down there to the original hearing on the update. I realized that I needed to do a lien reduction hearing application. So we're asking for an amount that's lower than 4,000, you know, even if it's 3 times the costs. We offered 800. I don't know if that's going to get it done, but we're just asking for more leniency than what was recommended, Your Honor.
Okay, I will reduce the fine to $1,800 with 60 days to pay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, city personnel. Appreciate it. May I be
Thank you.
excused, Your Honor?
Pardon me?
May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 4 for the property located at 1801 Southwest 11th Court. Owner Harvey J. Adelson Family Trust, Harvey J. Adelson Trustee, and all others. For case number BE200400237. This case has a total lien value of $49,000 and city direct cost of $633.55, and the city is requesting $14,700.
Please state your name for the record.
Harvey J. Adelson.
Okay, Mr. Adelson, what do you want to tell me in mitigation of the fines?
Okay, I'd like to just read what I had sent as an email. I never received a notice telling me that I needed to do a 40-year inspection. The first notice that I received in this regard was an email dated March 21st from Katie Williams from the same department as Victoria Mack. She explained that I should have received a prior notice. I had not resided at the address where the letter was originally sent, and it never reached me. About 10 days later, I received a forwarded letter, which I have in my presence, explaining that I needed to attend a hearing before a magistrate on April 14th. Prior to that hearing, I immediately contracted with an engineer, Milton Kubas, who I hired to inspect the property for the 40-year inspection. As soon as he completed the inspection, I hired the appropriate people, electricians. I referenced the service, and I have an invoice that was paid, a roofing contractor, to follow through with the changes that Mr. Kubas needed to be completed for the property to pass inspection. I brought the magistrate the letter showing that I had hired Mr. Kubas, the engineer, to do the inspection. I continued to work with him. My only excuse is I never received the notice.
Okay.
Your Honor, the code is very clear that in lien reduction hearings, it's not an opportunity to rehear the case, specifically with regard to notice or lack thereof.
Okay. All right. I will reduce the fine to $6,000 with 90 days to pay.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 6. And page 7 for the property located at 3305 Northeast 16th Court. Owner Victor Revocable Family Trust and all others. On page 6 is case number CE1909067. This case has a total lien value of $36,000 and city direct cost of $735.08, and the city is requesting $18,000. On page 7, for case number CE-19110917, this case has a total lien value of $28,250 and city direct cost of $1,278.08, and the city is requesting $8,475.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Amy McGrady. attorney for the former owners of the property. There were the two violations. Okay, so the first one on page 6 relates to water being turned off. My client states that he didn't turn the water off. I guess there was a police officer there, someone filed a report, he wasn't around, and they said he turned it off. He didn't. As soon as he found out there was no water in the back, and as soon as he found out his grandmother was living in there without him even knowing, he tried to get her relocated through services, but she wouldn't budge. She just wouldn't budge. So he just turned the water on and tried to get her to move, but she wouldn't. She ended up moving after the person that bought this property got her out somehow.
Yeah, the file reflects that he was the one who requested the water turned off.
Yeah, I see that in there in the police report, but he's saying that he didn't do it. So.
Yeah.
But he did put it on, and she was
It also
very
says at one point he cut off the electricity to his grandmother.
I don't know if any of that happened. So he says it didn't, so that's where we're at. He got her settled. As soon as he came to me, I said, look, you gotta make sure, no matter what, who turned it off, that you
Okay,
get
this
it off.
property was sold?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and how much did your client net from the sale of the property?
0. All the proceeds are being held in escrow
For what?
to see what, if we can get that.
No, how much is he to net, depending on today?
So the entire proceeds of sale were $75,000, and he's got his brother. This is their inheritance. This whole thing started with a long line of familial tragedies. His mother bought the house. I think you saw the hardship letter. She bought the house. She got hooked up with a guy who ended up in her 60s. I mean, this was her dream house, and she hooked up with a guy, and she just got into a downward spiral, alcoholism, drug abuse. She ended up overdosing. And he was in the hospital at the time that she died, recuperating because he had a tragedy. Someone beat him over there by shooters. Somebody beat him up, and he was in a coma for 5 months and in rehab for 2 years, and he still has a permanent trach, and he's permanently disabled. So this is his inheritance, and he did his best to keep the property maintained, but it's difficult given his health conditions.
All right,
I believe you asked, the property was sold for $920,000.
Yeah, that was the gross
By
amount.
warranty deed last year, almost a year ago.
It was sold for $920, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
He tried to bring it into compliance sooner than that, but the current owner interfered in his ability to get the lawn fixed. I think the water was rectified in 2020. That was brought into compliance, but we couldn't get on this calendar until we dealt with the yard, and the current owner was very difficult. She wouldn't let anyone on the property to do it. She did work and got some violations herself. It's
All
not
right.
been easy.
I'm going to reduce the fine to $12,000 with 60 days to pay.
Is that on both violations?
No, that's for the one.
For that's, sorry,
On the
ending in
second
6?
violation, I will reduce the fine to $2,000 with 60 days to pay.
And just for clarification, the one reduced to 12,000 is the case
Is the
number
one where he
ending
turned off the water and the
637
electricity.
case
Yeah.
number? Okay, thank you.
All right.
Is someone named Monique up there? Thank you for all your help. You were wonderful.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 1 for the property located at 300 Southwest 2nd Street. Owners, East Lauderdale Properties LLC, case number CE 22010196. This case has a total lien value of $19,950 and city direct cost of $854.78. And the city is requesting $7,980.
Good morning, Stephanie Mayorga with Stephanie Toothaker's office on behalf of the property owner and tenant. So we are respectfully requesting a reduction down to administrative costs or an amount Your Honor finds is appropriate for the case given the circumstances. The violation was found in January, and within days, the tenant did apply for a sidewalk cafe permit. However, that permitting process took several months, and it led to the eventual finding in May that it may not even be the correct permit type because of where the property lines are.
Why didn't they file an appeal?
They missed the deadline. We were not engaged yet. Our firm was not. So he just missed the deadline.
Okay. Did your client, why did your client not file an appeal before you got into the case?
They weren't aware of the process.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Okay, so in May, it was found that they did not, it was the incorrect permit type. So at that time, we advised the tenant to go ahead and remove the outdoor dining setup to come into compliance, unfortunately, because permitting was not as expeditious as we would have hoped. But we would ask that you consider all the efforts that the tenant did put in to come into compliance. They were trying to get a permit, it just didn't happen. So they removed everything.
Okay, this was out of compliance for 133 days. Just to, yeah. All right. I will reduce the fine to $6,000 with 60 days to pay.
Okay? 60 days? Thank you.
Our next case, also on page 1, for the property located at 100 Southwest 10th Street. Owner, Glenchi Omega Carlton LLC and care via Decimus LLC. Case number CE 22020330. This case has a total lien value of $1,400 and city direct cost of $414.14, and the city is requesting $700.
Please state your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Small, and I'm the agent for the owner.
I can't hear you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Small, and I'm the agent for the owner.
Okay. And what do you want to tell me in mitigation of the fines?
So for this one, we didn't realize the compliance date because the property is unstaffed. So a notice was posted and was sent via certified mail, but that doesn't expedite the sending of it. So the notice actually arrived after the compliance date. And then the citation is unclear. The code officer didn't circle days or hours, so it just says 48 days/hours. So because it arrived after would have been 48 hours, we thought, okay, 48 days. So the owner sent the notice to us, the property management, and we received notice of it on, I believe it was February 15th, which was after the compliance date. So everything was fixed, and they were sending photos to the compliance officer on the 18th and the 19th. And then it was complied on February 19th.
All right, I'm going to grant the city's request for $700 with 60 days to pay.
Can it be reduced further?
Pardon me?
Can it be reduced further?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Our next case is on page 7 for the property located at 4040 Gulf Ocean Drive, number 424. Owner, Bella Vista 424 LLC. Case number CE 22040383. This case has a total lien value of $12,400 and city direct cost of $381.46, and the city is requesting $6,200.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Hofit Lautenberg here on behalf of the respondent. I have my client here with me. This homeowner does not live in state. He's transient. He got the notice, and I know we're not appealing it, but just for the purpose of our mitigation, the citation itself doesn't have the checkbox that says that it has to be complied within the time frame. So if you actually look at his course of conduct, you'll see that he was diligent in getting everything done, but the last part of it was an inspection. Not realizing that there was a daily fine that he'd be facing, he actually had most of the time that passed was between when he got all his ducks in a row and when he called in that last inspection, because he had to travel back for it. He did have someone appear.
Couldn't pick up the phone?
Well, no, he called and scheduled it back on 5/18. He just didn't, again, when he called and scheduled, they scheduled it with him for 6/23. So he did pick up the phone. He just didn't realize that that time frame would have a fine accruing.
Okay, all right, I understand.
Yeah, and this is his only violation. He has nothing previous. He has no repeat violations. He takes full responsibility for the fact that there was a violation, and he made his best effort to comply.
All right, I will reduce the fine to $3,200 with 60 days to pay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Our next case is on page 6 for the property located at 2424 Northeast 9th Street, number 303. Property owner Key One Property -303 LLC, case number CE22030689. This case has a total lien value of $16,000 and city direct cost of $604.80, and the city is requesting $8,000.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Erica Wagner.
Okay, and tell me what you want to tell me in mitigation of the fines.
Yes, so I manage few units for Lauderdale, and I had the BPR license, which was a group. And so when I first bought this property at the end of the year, I had to do a renovation and everything. I started the process and I add under my BPR license the property that I bought, and I started the process. So, and I didn't know that the group license, you don't need inspection. It's a hotel condo. So when I start listing in March, I believe, I had our first guest, and after a few weeks, my neighbor said that was a paper hanging on my door, and she passed to me after a few weeks. So I got the inspector number, I called him, and I also talked with Gabriel Cullen, which is representative of Fort Lauderdale, and he said, Erica, unfortunately, this is when your condo is not part of the hotel condo, it's just a condo. You need to get a collective license. It's a different license. And I contacted the BPR, I started the process, I had a guest for a few days, and I unlisted everything, and I started the process, and I addressed the...
Okay, why didn't you file for appeal?
Oh, because I didn't come for the magistrate, right?
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Rob Kubat. I came along with Erica today. We didn't know the process of the appeal. We actually did talk to, I think, Inspector Champlain, and he said this is the only thing we could do.
Okay.
I highly doubt that, first of all, and neither of you can read?
What's that?
Neither of you can read? Because the citation on the front says how to appeal, when to appeal, how to appeal in bold, and on the back, it further gives instructions on how to appeal.
Yes, I got this citation, my neighbor, which she's from New York, she's an older lady. She got the citation from my door, but she passes to me a couple weeks later. So when I got the citation, I think was the gap. And since we started the process with the BPR for the new license, I thought
Why
that was...
didn't you just take the advertisement down while you processed everything? And
I did. When I spoke with Gabriel, I did. I thought that starting the process for the collective was about, it was...
No,
over.
why didn't you take your advertising down? Stop advertising while you were going through the process. That would have complied the case.
That's what I did. I did when they asked me for, I did, and I did not rent anymore.
Okay, well, the inspector said that the advertisement was still up, and it was out of compliance for 80 days, so. All right. I'm going to reduce the fine to $5,500 with 90 days to pay.
That was I did not have not even the income for that. I paid $250 to maintain the property. I never rented more than, the few days. This I was not expecting at all.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but You know, this is your property, it's your responsibility to know the law, and it was out of compliance for 80 days.
But
And
that's the
Ma'am,
reason.
the fine is $16,000, and I just reduced it for you. Even though ignorance of the law is not an excuse, I reduced it to $5,500. I can't reduce it anymore, sorry.
Thank you.
All right.
Our next case is on page 3 for the property located at 1515 Southwest 6th Avenue. Owner OLT2LP, case number CE22030478. This case has a total lien value of $13,200 and city direct cost of $498.95, and the city is requesting $2,000.
Please state your name for the record.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Mark Shore, and I'm here on behalf of the owner. I believe there are several factors that warrant substantial lien reduction. The first factor is the ordinance itself that the owner's been cited with violating. Ordinance section 2427 appears to squarely place the onus not on the owner, but on the city to move the violating receptacle. If I may approach, Your Honor, and just give you a copy of the ordinance.
Again, Your Honor, as the code is very clear in lien mitigation, lien reduction proceeding, it's not the time to attempt to re-argue the substance of the violation.
That's true.
But
There's already been when no appeal is received in the case, then there is no discretion that I have but to impose the fine. Now, you're here to give me a situation that may mitigate the fine, but I cannot retry the case and find that
I agree.
she didn't violate.
I agree. And all I'm trying to do is just that. I've noted that Your Honor has asked repeated parties before us as to why they didn't file an appeal. And in this instance, an appeal was not filed because what we have is a Canadian owner and a duplex rental property, and the tenant simply never communicated the violation notice to the property manager or to the owner. But as far as the ordinance itself, and I'm just going to go back to that for a moment because there is a mitigating factor relative to the ordinance, and that is giving notice, okay? And if we didn't receive notice, that's arguably a mitigating circumstance. Here's what the ordinance says, and I don't believe that this is unambiguous. I think it's clear on its face. In the violating section of the ordinance, it says the following: if a container is found roadside or forward of any existing building line that faces any street on the day following a scheduled collection and is not screened from the public view as required, then the city, for a fee established in section 2427, shall place the container in an appropriate location. Doesn't say the owner, doesn't say the customer. It says the city. If the city had followed its own mandate and placed the receptacle where they believed it needed to be, as required by the ordinance that they've cited this owner with violating, we would have had a one-day fee, one-day fine imposition, and we wouldn't have had an accruing fine that grew to $13,200. As far as notice, we got notice. Unfortunately, the March 12th violation was not received by this Canadian owner until April, and the time for appeal had passed. As soon as the owner got notice of the violation, he immediately, that very day, and we have emails that confirm this, he communicated with his property manager in good faith to immediately apprise the tenants that they needed to remove those receptacles and place them where they needed to go. The property manager, as again confirmed by other emails, did just that, communicated the owner's wishes and the city's wishes to the tenants to move the violating receptacles where they needed to be. And the tenants, after the property manager communicated that in writing, and after a physical appearance by the property manager, assured the property manager that the violation would be resolved. What we know is that at the last hearing, the city spot checked. There was not a consistent daily review of violations to make determination that the violation was continuous. We know that there were 6 or 7 pickups of garbage since the original violation would have occurred. And what we've got are, regardless, impositions of $200 fines on a daily basis, accruing from that March 12th violation through May, when the city announced that the property was finally fully compliant. The bottom line here is that the owner, in good faith, did everything that he could have done under the circumstance. He immediately apprised his property manager. The property manager, in good faith, did everything that he could do relative to the tenants, which was instruct them as to what they needed to do from that point forward. And the tenants, provided assurance both in writing and verbally when the property manager physically appeared. The bottom line is that any fine that is ultimately imposed, and we've offered $1,320, I believe 10% of the fine, to resolve this, any fine that is imposed is going to be passed through to these tenants. Who are these tenants? Well, this is a modest property, and these tenants are hardworking families on both sides that are struggling as is, and this is going to create difficulties, financial difficulties for each side of this duplex. So, respectfully, considering everything, I believe that a substantial lien reduction is warranted in this instance.
Okay, I'm going to reduce the fine to $1,800 with 90 days to pay.
Thank you, Judge.
Our next cases are on page 2 for the property located at 900 West Sunrise Boulevard. Owner J.N. Sons Realty LLC. Case number CE 22030587. This case has a total lien value of $10,950 and city direct cost of $552.10, 14 cents, and the city is requesting $2,190. Also on page 2 for case number CE 22050156. This case has a total lien value of $300 and city direct cost of $315.48, and the city is requesting $600.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Your Honor. My name is Fahd Essafar.
Okay, can you tell me what you want in mitigation of the fines?
As of today, I am the tenant in the location 930 West Sunrise Boulevard, and I'm also speaking of the owner of the property for power of attorney because he wasn't able to come to the States because his flight got canceled. So as far as my store, it's my first time opening a business, and the violation, as you can see, was for a flag, like a sign, a banner, that I had no idea that I was not allowed to have it. Apparently, I was charged $500 every day for a certain amount of days. Honest to God, Your Honor, I did not know that I was not supposed to have it there. But I do take the fault of having something that I'm not allowed. Like I am understanding that that's the law. If I knew that I was needed to apply for a license, I would have happily applied for it. I just had no idea. And just the fine of $10,000 was a little, out of my sight. I promise, honest to God, I have no idea that I was not supposed to have that. The day that I came here and I knew that I was not supposed to have it, it was taken care of immediately. It was a harmless sign that just stated logo of the store. All I wanted was to grab customers' attention, being a new business, nobody know where I'm at, where I'm located, and that was it, Your Honor.
Okay, I will reduce the fine to $1,200 with 60 days to pay.
There's two cases, Your Honor.
No, on the second case, I'll reduce the fine to $400 with 60 days to pay. Okay?
That's the best you can do, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
That's it? Oh, there's one.
Our next case is on page 2 as well. The case address 1441 Northwest 6th Avenue. Case number CE 22020247. Owner Christine Nemeth. This case has a total lien value of $9,000 and city direct cost of $361.48, and the city is requesting $4,500.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
State your name for the record.
Christine Nemeth.
Okay, and what do you want to tell me in mitigation of the fines?
So for my vacation rental, Inspector Jolly came out and found some very simple things that needed to be resolved. I could have resolved these things in just 2 or 3 days. He said to me, "Oh, I'll give you 30 days." I said, "Oh, that's great. That gives me time because I have 2 jobs. I'm very busy." I never realized that meant I was being fined $200 a day. If I had known that, I would have gotten this stuff done immediately and had him back out.
Why didn't you file an appeal and come to?
Because I thought that the $200 was not being fined. I thought if I could just get this done. Then I realized that the $200 a day, and I would have never taken the time, the 30 days. I would have got it done immediately if I had known that.
Okay, and why didn't you take the advertising down?
He told me I did not have to.
I don't.
He told me he did not have to. He actually said, he's like, "I'm not going to have you stop your business." So that is what he told me. I actually, after speaking with Inspector Champagne and telling him I felt very deceived and misled by Inspector Jolly, if he had just been honest with me, I would have gotten everything done. I do everything possible to keep my property beautified for the neighborhood, for my guests. I would never do this intentionally.
All right, I'm going to reduce the fine to $1,200 with 90 days to pay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next 2 cases are on page 3 and 4. On page 3, we have the property located at 1633 Northwest 8th Avenue. Owner Jean-Claude Vossi. Case number CE 07041847. This case has a total lien value of $4,250 and city direct cost of $723.74, and the city is requesting $1,275. On page 4, there's case number CE 150811956. This case has a total lien value of $48,800 and city direct cost of $1,547.95, and the city is requesting $14,640.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Nancy Leverose representing the former owner. He sold the property. He's a foreigner. He's from Canada. He was not aware of the lien when he purchased it from the investor. But he did take out a loan. Like when he purchased the property, he did a refinance, cashed out, paid a contractor to fix the problem, but the contractor never contacted the city of Fort Lauderdale to repair, to do the inspection, let them know that, hey, the work was done. That was back in 2018.
Okay, is there a contract for the sale of this house?
It's sold already. Yes, there was a contract.
And
Everything was provided.
Was money escrowed for the liens?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell me?
Let's see here. He tried his best to get the work done. He did it back in 2018, so, I mean, all this extra time was just because they didn't come back and re-inspect.
Okay.
And it's not his fault, it's the contractor that he had hired, unfortunately.
All right, on the first case, I'm going to reduce the fine to $1,275 with 60 days to pay. And on the second case,
It was out of compliance, Your Honor, for 976 days.
yes. I'm going to reduce the fine to $12,000 with 60 days to pay.
So we're not accepting the city's offer on the other one, was 1,000 something?
Pardon me?
The city offered 1,000 something to settle that other one?
The city wanted me to grant $14,600.
Not for that one, the other one.
The other one, the city requested $1,275, and I granted it.
Oh, okay, I thought it was 1,000 something. I
Yeah,
misheard.
because
Thank you.
admin costs were over $700, so.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Monique.
Your Honor, before we leave, I'd like to recall the cases on page 2 for 900 West Sunrise Boulevard. Although you have ruled, I do remember this case from our actual hearings. After I saw him, I remembered him more so than the case itself, and the city would like to amend its request to admin costs on both cases.
Okay, so ordered.
Thank you very
So
much.
for one case is $552.14 with 60 days to pay, and the other is $315.48 with 60 days to pay.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
This concludes the lien reduction hearing for August 18th, 2022.